You're unmuted.
Hey, we're back. We're all back. But only you can see me.
Let's go, guys. Let's leave.
All right, guys.
Should we just leave Ryan in here? Or
You can. I'll stay with
you and KJP.
Sweet. So we're all back for the first time in a while.
Aren't you excited?
For the first time in forever.
Oh, I was going to say this.
I don't even know what you were going
I
to
was going to say.
Pre-show. Why don't you say what we're gonna do?
Late December back in 2018.
Right.
1953 to 1987, Marines and their family members at Camp Lejeune drank water that was contaminated with hazardous toxins. The toxins found in the water at Camp Lejeune may cause health issues, especially later in life. Types of health issues associated with water at Camp Lejeune are numerous. If you or a loved one lived near Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987, you may be entitled to substantial financial compensation without going to court. Even if you were turned down in the past, a new law can allow you to file a claim today. If you or a loved one spent time near Camp Lejeune, call the Negligence Network to find out if you're eligible for financial compensation. There's no fee unless we win your case.
If you put yourself on there. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Which show member do you believe you would most closely emulate under duress? Hannah, me, Ryan, or Annie? So when stuff goes down, which one of us are you going to most closely act like? Is what we want to know.
And we will describe how we acted that day.
And I
I want to describe Annie.
Yeah, I wish I could have seen. I know how you would act. And then at 2 o'clock, I didn't put her on the show sheet because I'm a goob. We're going to have Laura Michel in with her friend Lori Patterson, and they're going to play X's and O's with us.
Yay!
So
Laura
we're super
Michel
excited.
Insurance.
Yeah, Laura Michel Insurance.
.com.
So stick around for that.
I got a good one.
You got a good Wiggins America?
Yes.
No, that's not
I was
what
referring to X's nose, but
You got a good one?
X's nose.
Oh, good.
I'm thinking that we might have to, as we get closer to Christmas, there might be maybe some extra X's and O's that we do on Tuesdays.
Ooh,
Yeah.
extras and O's.
Ooh, I like that.
What'd you say?
Extras and O's.
Extras and O's.
Extras and ho-ho-hos.
Also, I do want to get this out there so you guys can get your Ask Me Anything questions
Extras
in.
and O's. Go ahead.
Hey, Ryan.
You had to say ho ho ho.
No, you
not-
did not.
Yeah, you do.
So, Ask Me Anything in the 1 o'clock hour. We're going to do that. Start getting your questions in now. We want a ton of questions so we can answer a bunch of stuff for you. Or get a couple really good ones in there that we can talk about for a really long
For the
time.
YouTube poll, we really want comments for
Yeah,
that as well, because this isn't like, I don't know that this is a poll that you really win.
right.
It's like who people relate to more or whatever, but we want to know like why you think you would act like me or Brad or whomever it might be. So we love your comments.
All right. Shows in 10 seconds.
All right, let's make it happen, Captain.
Rapid decline in their health. Go to hansonstree.com to find out how we can service your trees today.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Friday. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. We are happy that you are here with us. Thanks for choosing to spend a little time with 97.1 FM Talk. We're grateful for it. They've got the whole show in the studio right now for the first time, I think, since probably Tuesday of Thanksgiving week. Is that right?
That is correct.
Woo!
Yep.
Why is the studio door open? Somebody's just
Nobody
sneak in here.
knows.
Nobody knows. It's like, do your kids, Ryan, not close like the refrigerator door or like the house doors?
Yeah, a lot.
That door being open agitates me way more than it should, but it's like a home thing. I'm bringing that in from home.
Well, I'll say one good thing about having cold weather is that they don't do it as much because it affects them.
They can feel the cold coming in, so they'll shut the door more often, but not always.
Don't have that problem in my house. In fact, or maybe we have like extra of that problem. They're all of the things that you hear in your head, like parents say to nag their kids. My kids are prime that age right now.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the milk out? Why is the door open?
Oh, man, these are things I say.
Why are your shoes right here when I've asked you 7 times to put them away?
Or why didn't you put shoes on before you went out to the car? It's 20 degrees outside.
Why aren't you wearing a coat?
Yes. Coat is a generational thing, though, isn't it?
Where are your pants?
Yeah.
I'm going to push
What's going on
back.
in your house,
Molly?
Hannah? Yeah. No, but you can't call Molly out yet because that's just calling yourself out. I got to pick on the older kids right now.
I'm going to push back on the coat
Rosie.
thing because I still don't. I have a winter coat in my truck right now, but I
You're
don't.
an adult.
But I was like that from junior high on.
No, there's a whole thing with coats where you're like proving something to nobody, to
Yes.
exactly nobody. I don't want to wear a coat. I hate wearing a coat while I drive.
I do, too. I understand that.
But it is a thing that I've done probably in the last year or two of my adult life where I'm like, I'm a grown-up and gosh darn it, I should be wearing a coat.
Yes.
It's like
I know.
a purposeful, like I have to make myself do this. It's not, but I will yell at my kids for not having a coat on. You better believe it.
But tell me this, your parents always wear a coat, right? They always wear a coat when they go out. Because it's generational.
Probably.
I love my winter coat.
I don't think it's you hit a certain age thing. I think it's the age that's older than us is mandatory coat when you leave in the winter. We're kind of on the bubble, and the kids that are coming up, they just wear short sleeves.
I don't know if it's generational. Mine was always practicality because I'm like you, Annie. I hate wearing a coat when I drive. So much so that I have to take my coat off when I get in the car.
I don't think you hate being cold as much as I do, which is where it makes me a hypocrite.
Oh, I don't know. I hate being cold now. I used to not mind it at all when I was Big Brad, but now, oh my gosh, I hate being cold.
When you were Big Brad.
Dude, yeah.
He's medium Brad now.
I have plenty of insulation. But yeah, it was so to me it's always been I want to have a coat in case I break down or something like that. I want to have extra. I always have warm pair of shoes in my truck too. But
really,
yes, yeah, no. There's
Slippers?
a whole thing.
Now would be a good time to mention the YouTube live chat poll. In a crisis, which show member do you believe you would most closely emulate under duress? Hannah, Brad, Ryan, or Annie? We're going to talk a little bit more about that a little bit later in the show. Like we said on the pre-show here, if you are watching us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, you get to see a little pre-show before we go live on the air. But we did have a mini crisis earlier in the week. Ryan wasn't here for it, but it was that surge of energy in that moment where all of a sudden it's a fight or flight situation. You have to figure out like what's going down. I got to make some decisions right now. So we'll talk about what happened, and then we'll go into how we all react in crisis. I think it's an interesting telling thing about, because I think that sometimes if you've been confronted with crisis before, that you sometimes can very much so surprise yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And then you go back and you're like, whoa, I didn't expect that of me. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Speaking generationally, I think Disney is one of those things. Of course, I'm a Disney fan. It's probably for most of you, you probably think it's the worst thing about me. I happen to like Disney. I happen to be incredibly disappointed with the direction the company has taken itself. I have never been pre-Disney or like pre-being a Disney fan or a Disney person or whatever. I've never been a fan of boycotts and of just, taking my ball and going home in a way that is like a collective thing. I think that if you like something and care for something, you should work to be a voice to push back against something, which I think actually works well in tandem with people who boycotting absolutely is their thing. Because, I mean, the thing about boycotting is I find that boycotts, Ryan, tend to be other people telling you what you need to do with your money and your time.
Yeah, well, that's the way boycotts have to work, though, because you have to have enough people doing it for it to matter. So it's like you have to do it yourself, but then you have to tell other people, this is what I'm doing if you want to join the cause. So you're right, but that's kind of the nature of a boycott.
I don't, and I don't like to be told what to do with my time and my money. So I when it comes to influencing any entity that is bigger than oneself, where I can't sit down and have a conversation with Disney, although I would love to. Mr. Iger, influence you in any way that you would let a conservative mom of 4. I would love to just be heard. That would be amazing. And I actually think that Bob Iger might be somebody who would be willing to do that more than the previous CEO, Bob Chapek. The whole thing with Disney, and we haven't talked on this show about the fact that like a week ago, right before Thanksgiving, I think it was, Disney fired their current CEO, Bob Chapek, and rehired Bob Iger to come back and be the CEO for 2 years. Now, I pushed off talking about this mostly to a Friday because I didn't want to have it be a subject of conversation on this show because people think that it's Disney and that's why I'm bringing it. But it's actually something I think is a bigger deal than people are discussing in the media. And I want to talk about that a little bit because you cannot look at the last 2 years. COVID, Bob Iger was the CEO. He was supposed to be done in 2020. He ushered in Bob Chapek, who is the new CEO, who's now fired, in 2020. But Bob Iger stayed on as almost like a CEO emeritus to help, because it was COVID. So it was like, this is not really the time to be like, here you go.
Yeah, see ya.
Yeah, when you've got 25%, 30% of your company's business in the theme park industry, and that got cut. I think the overall number was it lost like 37% of revenue or something in that fiscal year. You can't just hand that off to somebody. So Iger stuck around. Well, then Bob Chapek started to make some decisions. I had said on multiple fronts, and I think this is really important for people to consider, not just in the specifics of Disney, but also in Nike. And you guys can think of some other places and throw them out if it comes up. Other businesses, when it comes to the woke industry. I think, 13% of the American population is Black?
It's close to that.
I feel like Hispanics have grown past that, but it's still somewhere similar, maybe 15% or whatever. I mean, the vast majority of America is white. The majority of America is heterosexual. Majority of America, I don't know, I'm not going to pretend like I know the statistics on religion, but America is populated by many Christians. And Christian, I think all 4 of us in here would call ourselves Christians, but we would all have, like, if we wanted to sit down and have a nerdy religious conversations, we would disagree on a lot.
Yeah, probably.
If we wanted to go all in, like we could agree in the beginning, we all think we're going to heaven. We're all going to be there.
Yeah, the basic tenets are probably the same.
But once you dive into it, there's probably a lot that we would disagree on. And that's fine. That's what we get to do in the United States, is have those individual thoughts and have those personal decisions that weigh into how we live our lives. So to suggest that the most prevalent American experience is one that is white or one that is potentially religious, I'll say it that way, more than Christian. Any time that any business is making a business decision, in my opinion, in this day and age, this version of capitalism, which is bottom line focused, potentially only focused, they're not going to ignore the people who make up the largest portion of their consumer base. The idea of political correctness, which I remember coming onto the scene probably like 20 years ago, maybe, like for the first ideas of political correctness. The ideas that, I'm not even going to say it here, but the R word, calling somebody the R word because they did something that you deem to be stupid is offensive. I agree with that. You shouldn't use that word in a way that insults people based on a condition, medically speaking, where that word is actually used. We moved our society in a direction that would focus on being more thoughtful of one another and of understanding that while the majority of people in our country, and I'm saying the majority, which means 50% plus one, look this way or live this life, that is not the only existence, which is really reflective in the way we have our government set up. Like the founding fathers acknowledged this in this country because they set up two houses, one that reflected the majority, which is the House of Representatives, and the other one that would give a larger variety of people, a minority, a strong voice in the Senate. So there's this understanding that while there is a prevailing majority of people that maybe look this way or live this particular kind of life, that there are other lifestyles that exist that are different than those. And the fact that they are a minority of people who look like that, who live like that, who worship like that, doesn't make them less valuable people. That's an important message for Americans to embrace. That you don't have to agree with somebody's lifestyle. You don't have to subscribe to somebody's faith walk. You don't have to have the same cultural traditions as somebody else. They can all be different, but they are equally valuable because human life is valuable. It's interesting that today, human life is no longer the most valuable thing. And this is where it comes back to Disney. Specifically in the last 2 years, and I add in Nike, and I add in a lot of these other big corporations that have really gone down this line, is what they identified was an initial movement that started out by saying, life has value. It doesn't have to look like yours. You don't even have to understand a specific way of life for it to be valuable. You can, in fact, disagree with the entire walk of life, the entire way somebody lives their life. You can disagree with all of it, but your disagreement with it doesn't make that person's life not valuable. Would you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
The simple idea that people were willing to come out and highlight that our differences, our diversity, that you should tolerate the fact that other people don't live like you. You should tolerate the fact that other people don't look like you. You get to think what you think, but that doesn't really have any bearing on what the decisions that other person should make. That all of a sudden became a commodity. And what that turned into was a marketing plan. And the Nikes of the world, and pairing up with Colin Kaepernick, and especially the Disneys of the world. If you look specifically at how the Disney company, under Bob Chapek, the now fired CEO, handled the parental rights in education bill in Florida, which was called the Don't Say Gay bill, it is the worst example of kowtowing and virtue signaling in business, maybe in history. And the reason I know this is because being somebody who's kind of in the Disney community, is somebody whose family likes to visit Disney when we have the opportunity to, I noticed in the areas where I was socially on social media, people chasing after Disney C-suite folks. Don't say gay bill. Don't say gay bill. I knew about the don't say gay bill way before it was being talked about in the national media because people in the Disney community were collectively together coming and saying, why is Disney not speaking up about this? How can they be going against their LGBTQ staff members, their LGBTQ client base? How can they be pushing against this important group of people in their community and not speaking out against the don't say gay bill? Which is where I was like, what? Don't say gay? What? So I looked it up and it turns out the don't say gay bill is the doesn't say gay bill. It has nothing to do with that. It's just saying that kids should be educated according to their age and what is appropriate in the classroom, just in the classroom. And it doesn't stop anybody whose family is a two-mom family or a two-dad family from coming to school and being like, oh yeah, my dads and I went to Disney World this weekend and had a great time. It doesn't stop anybody from doing that. But what Disney did under Bob Chapek was he tried to keep quiet as long as he could. He tried to stop from saying anything for as long as he could. And when he felt like the crowd outside his door got too loud, he just did what they asked him to do, which was to condemn the people who would dare suggest that we don't say gay. And that's not what happened. And he was out of line because he wasn't even on topic. And the people of Florida Democrats and Republicans alike in the majority supported what the Republicans in the legislature were doing and what Ron DeSantis was doing. And Disney lost that battle. I propose to you that people who are mad, I mean, there are other things going on at the Disney company. I know that that have been exposed with meetings and stuff, and I see that and I hear that. But the whole idea that Disney's number one focus is to transform your family, in my opinion, is missing the point. It's way worse than that. They don't even care about your family. They just want to make money off of you. And they put their finger up into the wind, and they thought that woke was the way to go. And they were so wrong. So incredibly wrong. Strange World? Did you see it on your break?
I didn't see it yet, but I have seen it.
Yet?
Did anybody see it?
No, that's the problem.
Yeah.
The lead character is openly gay. And when I read a review about it, it's like has strong messages of like climate change.
Oh, good.
And I'm like, even if I were for these things, even if I were for the idea of sending strong political messages in films, I wouldn't want to see this in a Disney cartoon. Personally, maybe you would. But apparently a majority of people don't, because it's one of the biggest animated failures in the company's history. How many times does Disney have to fail before they go, okay, remember when we were just focusing on the bottom line? This is not working.
Yeah.
I think we're here. I'm going to play Bob Iger, who's the new CEO, when we come back. And I want to get Ryan, especially you as a dad, your thoughts on his words. And then Netflix has a new comedy special coming to its streaming platform. And I think it's supposed to be like one of the first. I think the article said something like it was the first non-binary, gender fluid stand-up comedian, which I feel I don't believe because I feel like I've watched him on Netflix before.
Yeah.
But maybe I was just making assumptions.
Maybe they just added one more check mark to that list.
I don't know.
And that's the first one of that.
Yeah, I haven't had Netflix in a long time. But there's this comedian, and she goes, I don't even know. They articulate
they being one person.
Yeah, I don't want to disrespect this person and
I'm just trying to clarify.
them.
Yeah.
I truly don't. I would not want to disrespect somebody by whatever. But the comedian explains the fluidity of gender by using a Disney story to articulate it. And I gotta talk about it on the air. And I can't wait to hear what you, especially as somebody who's interested in comedy, Ryan, what you think of, first of all, is this even funny?
I'll be the judge of that.
Bob Iger makes some comments about the new direction of Disney, and we're going to react to that when we come back. And the next non-binary comedian on Netflix. Is she funny? Are they funny? We'll be back in a minute. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health from Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health from Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill, or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
Water Sweet Soap Company. Oh my goodness, my favorite place to walk in. First of all, the store is just beautiful. When you go into Water Sweet Soap Company and you get to see all the amazing different products that are locally made and are absolutely as natural as you can possibly get. They don't have very many ingredients in them at all to keep them as natural and free of unnatural preservatives as they can. Water Sweet Soap Company is an amazing gift for your friend, for your sister, for your husband this Christmas season. My husband currently is using the men's signature body bar, and it's called Bourbon Tobacco. And when he first smelled, he goes, "Oh my gosh!" He goes, this makes me remember Grandpa, because his grandpa smoked pipe and he could smell the tobacco in there, and he loves it. If you are looking for something for anybody right now, teacher gifts or friends gifts or something to put in a nice gift exchange, Water Sweet Soap Company is the destination. You can shop them online as well. Put in promo code Annie and save 10% today. WaterSweetsSoap.com.
Be a hero this holiday. Donate blood during the Odyssey Holiday Heroes Blood Drive. There will be drives at YMCA locations all over the region. All presenting donors will receive a long-sleeve Red Cross t-shirt. And the YMCA is offering a $0 enrollment fee for all donors who join the day of the drive. Schedule your appointment at redcrossblood.org and use sponsor code Odyssey. Thank you.
Do you know that Goodwill has been serving our community for over 100 years? It's true. Goodwill believes that everyone deserves a rewarding job despite having a disability or disadvantage. With your help, they are able to serve thousands of people each year throughout the bi-state area with employment services. Every time you shop or donate, you are helping to fulfill their mission of changing lives through the power of work. Thank you for giving hope.
'Tis the season to be jolly, and nothing makes me jollier than a clean home. With the holidays right around the corner, it's time to get ready for friends and family. What better way to do that than with the help of Zero Res? They were just in my home recently. The carpets, the area rugs, they knocked it out of the park. Fresh and clean, that's exactly what they do. Zero Res has a 4.9 rating on Google with over 4,200 reviews. The 30-day Gotta Love It guarantee makes it easy to get what you pay for. Here's the special this month. Beat the holiday rush, get the Mark Reardon special. 3 rooms starting at $119, $50 off any air duct package. You can also give the gift of clean this holiday season with Zero Res gift cards. Schedule your cleaning today by calling 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Make sure you ask for the Mark Reardon special. Zero Res, you spell it backwards or forwards, it spells the same. And now is the best time to book Zero Res for your end-of-year office cleaning to get you ready to provide your employees and patrons with a clean and safe environment for 2023. Zero Res.
Learn to make money 5 ways with rental real estate. Double your money with apartments. And get your map to financial freedom. And that map starts with a free workshop. Sign up now at lifestylesunlimited.com. Click on the Join Free Workshop tab and attend online or in person. That's lifestylesunlimited.com. Lifestylesunlimited.com. Again, that's lifestylesunlimited.com. Limited seating, unlimited potential.
Shows that make a difference. Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Frey, Mark Reardon and Dana Lash, Heidi Harris, Wiggins America. Where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Here's a virtual question. Many cast members had wished that Disney stayed out of politics. Will Disney stay out of making political statements?
You know, I think there's a misperception here about what politics is. And I think that some of the subjects that have proven to be controversial as it relates to Disney have been branded political, and I don't necessarily believe they are. I don't think when you are telling stories and attempting to be a good citizen of the world that that's political. Just not how I view it. Do I like the company being embroiled in controversy? Of course not. It can be distracting, and it can have a negative impact on the company. And to the extent that I can work to kind of quiet things down, I'm going to do that. But I think it's important to put in perspective what some of these subjects are and not just simply brand them political.
So that's Bob Iger. He is now the CEO, once again, of Disney. And he makes a statement there. Now, I will tell you that when he says that there are people who are making issues political that he doesn't believe to be political, Bob Iger is a leftist. He's not like a conservative Republican who's coming in to save the day at Disney, because Disney doesn't believe they need saving in that regard. And I don't think, honestly, as somebody who is a conservative Republican, I don't really want Disney to be saved by a conservative Republican. I just want them to entertain me. It's really basic. It's basic level stuff. But when he says that he doesn't believe that the issues that are being discussed are political, I am assuming, Brian, I don't know what you think about this, but I'm assuming what he's saying is, the issue of LGBTQ rights and people who are living different lifestyles than what is considered, the mainstream, I guess, heterosexual white experience. That's not a political experience. That's not a political issue. That's just part of life. And I don't necessarily disagree with him on that.
Yeah, that's a social issue that enters into politics, but it's certainly more social than it is political. Now, it's become political because there have to be laws like the Florida bill, the parental rights bill. But, I mean, I guess on a technicality, he is right. That's not necessarily a political issue.
And the way that Disney handled it, being strongly influenced by the public, by their own LGBTQ cast members, which is what they call workers at Disney, it was made into a political issue, specifically about the bill that was put forth in Florida and the way that those people who pressured Bob Chapek to act on it was made into a political issue about something that, in my opinion, it wasn't initially. So he says there, though, that he doesn't like the company to be embroiled in policy. So while the issue that he's saying there shouldn't be deemed political, you do have to practice good politics to navigate a company through an issue like that where you do have pressure. Why in the world did Bob Chapek not come out and make a strong, unequivocal statement to support those LGBTQ members of the Disney company? Make a statement. But Chapek, what he did was he took the whole company head on.
Yeah, the problem with Chapek is exactly what you said, is that, and he is indicative of a lot of CEOs, they just try to stay out of it for the most part, which is fine, which actually, that's completely fine. The problem is, if they feel any pressure at all, they cave instantly and just do whatever the pressure is. So they don't really have any sort of backbone on anything. They're just moving with the tide of the season of the moment. And it's not even necessarily what it actually is. It's just what the perception is. And that's where Chapek really messed up and got a lot of people mad.
He was only ever reacting. He never, like, if I would respect him more if he would have stood for something in the beginning, and then I would go, I disagree with that. And then, and then that's it. But if you're with flapping in the wind, which is that's my overarching point here about companies today in this woke culture. It is virtue signaling. That means that they're doing things because they think that they can sell you virtue that you will pay for. And Disney, I've said this about Lightyear, I've said this about other films. If they want to have a character who has a homosexual relationship, put it in there. If you want to do that, put it in there. But don't make the entire marketing campaign around the movie coming out be about this. I mean, the actual instance in Lightyear where there was a non-heterosexual interaction was so small compared to the amount of attention that it got, that it's like Disney is making you have to choose. Are you going to go support Lightyear in the theater because you support this, or are you a hateful person and therefore you're not going to go buy tickets? And I don't think Americans like to be put on that notice.
Well, the beautiful thing about movies and entertainment in general is that it is the ultimate consumer product. So what you have is this movie. Okay, here's a product. Excuse me. Here's a product. Are you going to support this or not? You don't have to. It's entirely up to you whether you go spend money on that, whether it's through a streaming service or you go to the movie theater. And what the market showed is that their calculated decisions to do that were failures. And so what Chapek has now done is he's gone, Iger's in, because those were all such miscalculations from a business standpoint that everybody saw, oh, you put your money on the wrong dog. You know, that dog was slow.
Because it was always about the money.
Yes.
Like, I don't like conservatives who think that Disney is out there in a super nefarious way, like spending all of their time, money, and energy and trying to do this woke political thing because they're only doing that if it makes them money.
Well, I agree, but there are. It seems like Disney, the company, is doing that, but there are people at Disney
that are
pushing
empowered.
that are empowered. That are pushing a woke agenda, but the company itself is now responding to failure from those executives and is replacing them.
Yeah. Here's more from Iger.
Bob, have you given any thoughts on how to tackle the Reedy Creek situation in Florida?
I have to get up to speed on that completely. Obviously, I followed the news. That development occurred after I left the company. I was sorry to see us dragged into that battle. And I have no idea exactly what its ramifications are in terms of the business itself. What I can say is the state of Florida has been important to us for a long time, and we have been very important to the state of Florida. That is something I'm extremely mindful of and will articulate if I get the chance. But I don't have the details at all yet about what the ramifications are of the decision that was made by the state of Florida and whether we intend to do anything about it.
So within the last 24 hours, there have been reports that suggest that there might be a potential reversal or compromise bill that is done that allows Disney to access that Reedy Creek special district, tax district status that they had before. Within the last 10 minutes, Ron DeSantis has come out. I'll just read from Forbes. DeSantis denies reports that Florida lawmakers are backtracking on punishing Disney. So I don't know what's going on there. But the conversations are being had right now. The discussion is back in play. And I think it has everything to do with the way Bob Iger, and he's threading a needle here. And listen, it's very important that you understand. I'm not a Bob Iger fan because of his politics. On policy, he and I would likely disagree on most things, but he is a businessman who basically doubled the value of the Disney company in the time that he was the CEO before by making a lot of really strong acquisitions. And there is a needle that needs to be threaded, which I think is a conservative free market capitalist, which I think a lot of us are. We need to start getting back to the idea of expecting from businesses and companies to do the very best thing that they do and not having to insert politics in everything. If from where I stand, I don't want Nike to come out and sign Tim Tebow as their new spokesperson and then make kneeling in the end zone and prayer the focus of every single campaign that they exist. I don't need Nike to do that to win me back as a customer. Just sell shoes. Just sell jerseys and athleisure wear and go do what you do and be a business. I think that for me, I don't want to be a hypocrite about looking at these companies come out and all pushing their woke political policies on me. If you flip that coin, the coin will always flip back. They need to get back in the business of doing what it is that they are there to do.
All right, another virtual question. What is your stance on the don't say gay situation?
Well, first of all, our LGBTQ employees are very important to us, and we care deeply about them. That is a given. Secondly, this company has been telling stories for 100 years, and those stories have had a meaningful, positive impact on the world. And one of the reasons they've had a meaningful, positive impact is because one of the core values of our storytelling is inclusion and acceptance and tolerance. And we can't lose that. We just can't lose that. I think about Black Panther and the impact that had on the world, or a film like Coco. I mean, I could go on, and how we actually changed the world for the good. It must continue. We also, when you tell stories, it's a delicate balance. You're talking to an audience, but it's also important to listen to an audience. It's important to have respect for the people that you're serving, that you're trying to reach, and not have disdain for it. That said, we're not going to make everybody happy all the time, and we're not going to try to. And we're certainly not going to lessen our core values in order to make everybody happy all the time. So it's complicated, and there's a balance, and I at one point I said, we do what we believe is right, and then someone criticized me for saying, well, who are you to say that that's right? Well, when you're in a job like mine, or you are responsible for the storytelling that many of you are responsible for, you get paid to have a sense for what is right. Not everybody will agree with you. That's just not the way the world is these days. But it doesn't mean you should stop trying to do the right thing.
That's said by a businessman. That's said by somebody who may have a different set of values personally, or maybe as the CEO of a company, he might want values to be represented a certain way, but he is saying there that you can't disrespect the people who are consuming your product. Ryan, you and I police what we watch, what our kids watch on a regular basis. And, you know, we've talked about PBS. Like, I don't just let my kids sit down and watch PBS, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't just let my kids sit down and watch Disney shows either. Does what Bob Iger says there, does that mean anything to you?
What's funny is that it's designed to sound like it means something to everybody who hears it.
Which is good business.
He is saying nothing and trying to make sure that everybody who hears what he says hears what they need to hear. And that's, I think, though, he's doing that because DeSantis has leaned on that lever. Because of this tax situation with the whatever the district is for Disney World. He has put them in a situation where they have to back off a little bit. They have to realize that, oh, maybe I can't just say woke things. I have to say things that appease everyone. So you're right. He's threading that needle and trying to just appease every person who hears what he's saying.
There's a couple things that I like about that. I love the idea of respecting the audience because I think the audience made.
Do you think that the previous mentality of Disney has been to respect their audience?
No.
Like in the last, I don't know, 10 years?
I think it was a miscalculate. Like you said, Bob Paycheck.
That's actually what people call him.
Bob Chapek was all about the bottom line, making money, which I think that ultimately at the end of the day is the purpose of a business. You're to make money. It's to be profitable. But I think the reason that he got into so much trouble it was like what Ryan was saying, kind of like no spine, but he was misreading the size and the feelings of their audience. He wants to make the audience happy, but he was listening to the loudest portion of the audience, not the biggest portion of the audience. And that's why Disney got in a bunch of financial trouble with him. So he's like, oh, listen to how loud these people are with these ideals way over here. So we're going to align with them because they're loud. That must be the biggest group. And then they did that. And then the biggest group is like, what are you doing? We don't like what you're doing. And they just they didn't boycott, but they said, I can spend my money elsewhere. And they did.
I like that you say that he listened to the loudest portion and not the biggest portion, because that is why I particularly choose to use my voice. I have a platform. I have a voice. And I have the ability to reach more people with a thought than a lot of folks do. I'm blessed because of that. And I feel like conservatives, social conservatives, I don't know, fiscal conservatives too, I feel like we are often too eager to just say, well, I'll just take my money elsewhere, and then be silent on the issue and not speak up and fight back, because it's scary to go out there and speak on these issues and say, listen, I don't hate anybody, but my lifestyle is a Christian, conservative, traditional lifestyle. That's the lifestyle I choose to live. Does that one count too? Because I think it should.
Yeah, and then like Winston Marshall figured this out, and he didn't even do that. That little loud group, when they focus on you, that becomes an overwhelming force if you just have one person. And so it can't just be one person speaking up. It has to be other people like, whoa, what this person said was not outrageous. Tweeting out about Andy Ngo's book wasn't outrageous. Saying that you live a Christian life and that's important is not an outrageous statement.
And being able and representing that,
right?
Speaking on it and representing that is important. So that's why I said I don't disrespect people who boycott, but I choose to speak because I think a lot of people feel more comfortable boycotting than they do speaking up.
Just for stats, that movie Strange World cost about $150 million to make.
How'd it do?
Opening day, $4 million.
Ooh.
Now that they were hoping for about $30 million the opening weekend, and they fell over $12 million shy of that. So it's a bomb by every measure.
Yeah, and here's the thing: make those. I don't want to disallow Disney from making those types of films, but use your company to entertain us. Don't use it to hit us over the head to educate us. And don't disrespect us in the process, because the idea of diversity and inclusion, and I will change the last one to equality, is that we can all live differently together and value each other's lives. Human life. It's the most important thing. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Wiggins America, he's going to talk about something the Democrats are doing when it comes to their nomination process, and maybe should the Republicans take a look-see at it. Wiggins America on the Annie Frey Show in just a minute. Don't go away.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
Still in my heart somewhere, there's melody and harmony for you and me tonight.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1979. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1979. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1979. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-777-1979. 800-777-1979.
Well, this is great. I'm looking at Andrea's Facebook page right now, Andrea's Steakhouse, and they have a gift box there that is not only nice looking, but you're going to get both the Andrea's Brush on Steak Sauce that I talk about so often. You can pick that up also at Dierberg's and Schnucks and area grocery stores near you. And you can put it on your steak or put it on your protein, whatever it is. It's not only going to make the taste of your protein better, but it's easy to use. So grab that. But if you want to grab both the steak sauce and the Andrea's salad dressing, get it in a gift box because it looks nice. And if it's something that maybe somebody near you has never tried before, they're going to love it. If you've never tried their steak or their dressing, try that too, because a lot of people have tried the steak sauce but have never tried the dressing, and it's just as unique as the steak sauce. So if you go to Andreas.com, you can see all of these options. You can also pick up, and this is a great gift idea, a gift card. You can do that digitally, a digital Andrea's Steakhouse gift card right there at Andreas.com. Pick that up along with their gift box, which has both of their sauces. Again, that's all at Andreas.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA-MCO.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling and Insulation Studio. Make sure your furnace is ready to safely heat your home this fall. For heating service, repairs, or a new HVAC system, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Fact-checking the mainstream media daily.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You found it here. 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're happy that you're here with us this afternoon. And Ryan Wiggins, was the first time we're all back in the studio together. So, of course, it's time for Wiggins America.
Wiggins!
Oh, Wiggins!
First of all, just based on that song, there is a great video out there somewhere of somebody who has put that song to video of people like mosh dancing.
You
like
make my dreams.
Yeah.
Like, this is like heavy metal,
Like
but
hardcore.
really they're just like as happy as they can possibly
yeah,
be.
but it's that song. It is fantastic.
Just uncontrollable joy.
Yeah, and it is people wearing like crazy clothes and like spiked up hair, and they're just going nuts to that song. It's fantastic. I thought let's look at something that we're all thinking about: the 2024 primaries. We're definitely thinking about that already, aren't we? Going into the Christmas season.
704 days.
Oh my gosh, you're actually keeping count.
Yeah.
That is
but
impressive.
She also knows how many days there are until Christmas.
Well,
23.
That is
that's not that hard anymore.
It's easy now that we're in December.
Yeah.
I always get hung up on that. How many days are in November? Crap, just forget it. I put it on my phone.
It's 30.
4 days till the Georgia runoff. Anyway.
Yeah, that's Tuesday. So let's talk about what Biden is now endorsing, which is a huge precedent change because it's been like this forever. The order in which states pick their presidential candidates.
He probably wants to go straight to South Carolina.
You are exactly right. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, that's what he wants to do. He wants to have South Carolina be the first state that picks the president.
That's because that's where he became the nominee.
Yes, but the fact that they're saying it, technically he's the head of the Democrat Party right now, and
Sorry,
the Democrat
I didn't mean
Party.
to scoop you.
No,
I was just
that's a
joking.
great guess. But then after that, well, here's what's more shocking is that because it's always been Iowa, right? Iowa, then New Hampshire. And then South Carolina.
Our show sheet says Biden supports putting South Carolina first in the primary process.
And you even read that earlier.
I don't know. Did I?
And I'm like, wow.
I could
so
be a genius.
impressive.
I could be so subconsciously reading things in a hurry that I didn't realize that I read it. I'm probably going to go with the second one.
So South Carolina would be first, then Nevada, and New Hampshire at the same time, then Georgia, then Michigan, Iowa completely gone from the list. I mean, at some point they'd vote, but they're
the
not
biggest
going to
thing
be.
that goes on in Iowa.
Exactly. And so they want to get rid of Iowa as the first state. I got to say that I'm not necessarily opposed to that idea. Iowa has lost its. It always is picking people that not end up being the nominee.
Well,
so
I think that would happen to anybody who's first.
I don't know. It seems like Iowa has just gone off the rails, picking Mike Huckabee and people that didn't end up having a career at all. Or Santorum. Maybe that was the next one.
Should we try to weasel a road trip to the Iowa caucus for the Annie Frey Show? Should we try to
that would
broadcast
be
up
fun.
there?
Are you kidding me? Absolutely.
Can we put Brian behind a grill? Or that's a state fair, though, isn't it?
I don't know.
They all go up there for the state
Let's
fair.
just bring a
and grill.
dunk tank.
Yeah.
We'll pay people $1 to throw a.
That's how we'll fund the trip.
Yeah. No, we're gonna
pay them.
people to dunk you.
Oh.
Would that be fun? Would you like that? Would we go to Iowa?
Oh, heck yeah. Let's do it.
Can the four of us ride in a minivan to Iowa?
Like 8 of us went to
Yeah.
Meldon, Illinois.
Yeah, but I
so
liked all those people.
I need the
Remember
whole
when I
back
thought
bench
we
seat
were in
to
Missouri that whole time?
Problem solved. Just he wants the whole back bench seat. Let him have it.
We can go in the truck.
Put him in the bed. I'll throw a blanket back
in the
there
dunk tank, and people can throw while we're driving to Iowa.
Wait, that happens in like February, though. I don't think I'd like the back of the truck in
I don't think
February.
it's February. It's later than
Pretty
that.
early.
Oh, yeah, I think February is. I always think it was like April.
Well, even if
Maybe it's before that.
even
No,
if
'cause I think-
Democrats change it, Republicans will probably still do it. So
Caucus. Don't spell that wrong.
Iowa caucus. Caucus. When is it?
I'm Googling it.
Yeah, you already Googled it.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for a result here.
Well, I am too.
Okay.
All right, 5 seconds.
February 3rd.
Yeah, see?
Early February.
Yes.
Even worse.
Not in the back of that
We'll
truck.
be back anyway.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at ThrottleNet. These are the genius IT guys that I've been representing for years and years now. We are number one all the time. Best in customer service from Small Business Monthly. Best in cybersecurity, again, Small Business Monthly. We have an average response time. I love this statistic. The average response time in St. Louis in 2020 by IT companies. You have a problem, you reach out to them, hey, I'm all shut down, help me, was 3 hours. If you got back within 3 hours, you were cool. Ours was 1 minute, 57 seconds, and the guys were very unhappy with that. It takes less than 2 minutes for us to address your problems. Here's a huge thing. We are now offering $500,000 in ransom protection to everyone who uses us. This is part of the deal. You don't pay extra for it. So if you happen to be hit, and you have to pay, we're going to pay it up to $500,000. Now, this shows you how confident we are because no one under our protection has ever had to pay. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar. And maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
KFTK FM Florissant.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group.
97.1 FM Talk.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The president's making political waves. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. He's backing a potential shakeup in the primary calendar that's upsetting some fellow Democrats.
Instead of the traditional Iowa and New Hampshire leading off the nominating season, the president wants South Carolina first, a state whose support in 2020 was key to his own nomination. Then New Hampshire, Nevada, and primaries in Michigan and Georgia. The president also wants to eliminate caucuses, those nominating contests and gatherings in gyms across Iowa and other states, because they take too much time and require people to support candidates in public. But there's serious opposition from Democrats in Iowa and New Hampshire and other states.
Fox's Rich Edson in Washington. Opponents argue the more rural feel of Iowa and New Hampshire presses candidates to build better ground operations. The president argues the party should focus more on diversity. New Hampshire has a state law requiring a first-in-the-nation primary. The Democratic Party's Rules Committee is meeting to set the calendar. It's the last day of early voting in Georgia ahead of a runoff Wednesday between Senator Raphael Warnock and Republican challenger Herschel Walker. President Biden will campaign for Senator Warnock today as part of a phone bank in Boston. China is now accused of meddling in U.S. elections through the Chinese-owned app TikTok.
Forbes reports that these TikTok accounts are being run by the propaganda arm for the Chinese government. These accounts have gained millions of followers and tens of millions of views. So China is getting what they want, a captive audience to push videos that attack U.S. politicians to drive divisiveness without clearly disclosing that the people pushing the videos are affiliated with the Chinese government.
Fox Business's Hillary Vaughn. TikTok says it's working on a new policy and labels regarding state-controlled media. The app already facing bipartisan concern in Congress over its handling of user data. America is listening to Fox News.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix Relagolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer.
Fact. Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating and cooling, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Pretty nice boost in temperature this afternoon, looking for a high of 58, but with that comes strong and gusty southerly winds under partly to mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, maybe a spot shower. There's a weak cool front coming by, still very windy. 30 degrees, Saturday sunny and chilly, 38. Sunday, a spot of freezing drizzle first thing in the morning, but no big deal. 45 and clouds in the afternoon. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Second Amendment Radio is a staple of solid firearm information on 97.1 every weekend. Saturday from 3 to 4 and Sunday from noon to 1. It's Second Amendment Radio and the great outdoors. 97.1 FM Talk.
AirComfortService.com, the website you want to visit if you have a maintenance, tune-up, or potentially a furnace replacement in your future. Air Comfort Service came out to my home and helped my family get back into our comfort zone very quickly when the furnace went out. And I want you to know that you can trust them. When they come to your house and they assess your situation, they're going to give you every option that you have. Maybe you've got to make an option. You got to choose the option just based on budget. You can't afford to replace the whole thing, but you can afford to fix it. They'll tell you what your options are. If you do have to replace a part of your HVAC system, they will hook you up with fantastic financing opportunities as well as any rebates that are out there to help lower those costs. Make sure you stay in your comfort zone this winter with the amazing people at Air Comfort Service. You can call them at 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. If you want to do a little research of your own, I encourage you to go check out the reviews online. They're fantastic, and I certainly give them my endorsement as well. AirComfortService.com. Annie Frey here to talk to you about the ENTs that are going to put you at the center of their practice. I'm talking about Gateway ENT. Online at gatewaydoctors.com, you're going to learn about one of the oldest private practice ear, nose, and throat groups in the area with multiple convenient locations for you. West County, Sunset Hills, Festus. For more than 40 years, they've been happily caring for children and adults. They are the most cost-effective alternative to ENT practices that are employed by large hospital systems. Learn more online at gatewaydoctors.com.
Brian Kilmeade here. I'm coming back to St. Louis December 9th at the Missouri Athletic Club for a Brian Kilmeade live event with my friends at 97.1 FM Talk. Enjoy a delicious filet dinner, cocktails, and we'll talk about my book, The President Freedom Fighter, and all the news that consumes the headlines. Plus, everyone who attends will receive an autographed copy of my book, now out on paperback. For tickets, go to 971talk.com/events.
Brian Kilmeade Live is presented by Straight Realty.
I'm looking forward to seeing you December 9th.
For tickets, 971talk.com/events.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from thegelmanteam.com. If you want immediate cash for your home or to see what your home is actually worth in today's market, find out for free from the local experts. That's my friends Mark and Neil Gelman at thegelmanteam.com.
The Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
Join Mosby Building Arts every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. on 97.1 FM. Rich Orse and guests give insider tips about renovations, design, construction, exteriors, and more. Tune in to Right at Home with Rich on Saturdays or catch the podcast online.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the
the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Friday. Hope you're having a great weekend, start to weekend right now, man. I found out earlier this week the basketball team that my husband and I coach, the girls team, we were supposed to be in a tournament this weekend. Our athletic director set it up in the summer, which is when all these things get laid out. And we were supposed to participate in this tournament. It was on our schedule. And just this week, our athletic director got a text that was like, oh, yeah, they didn't put you in that tournament.
Oh.
So I'm like, so a free weekend?
Oh, yeah, that too.
Oh, so I have been, whenever with a son who's playing basketball and a daughter who's playing basketball, we're just very busy all the time. And you just kind of get into the groove where you're like, just don't look up. Just keep the grind going. And I have an unexpected, completely open weekend because we were supposed to be in this tournament and they just didn't put us in it.
No, that's pretty sweet.
So, yeah. I told my husband, I go, I get it. This is a win.
Yeah.
Take it.
I was excited for the same reason. Next Friday is the Kill Meat event, and they were like, are you going? We got you down. And I'm like, well, I really hope so. It's the only day in December we had nothing. Like, hallelujah, I can actually go to something.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that got canceled.
No.
No, it absolutely didn't. I don't know if there's still tickets available, but if there are, you can go to 971talk.com/events. I know that it was filling up. I would love for you to be there. I'd love to meet you. I'm not talking about you, Ryan. I'm talking about
Oh, I assumed you were talking about me.
Yeah. No, we'll both be there.
We'll both be there.
Listen to this. For the Brian Kilmeade event, I was going to get my makeup done again.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to get it done during the show.
Oh, this is going to be great.
Are we okay with that?
I don't care.
I'm going to be jealous.
How is this going to affect you talking?
I've asked her. She said she thinks we can do it.
I'm kind of down for watching that.
So you'll get to, subscribe to the Annie Frey Facebook page or YouTube page, excuse me. But her name is Devin Broadwater.
Can she do all of ours?
I asked her last time if she ever did any drag queens.
No, you did not.
She said no, but she said that like kind of makeup is like super fun to do because it's
over the top.
It's like if she were to put that makeup on me, she would get to be like super artistic about that, whatever. I'm like, man, I would love for her to do that to you, Ryan Wiggins. You were in my mind. I'm like, it's too cultural. Like right now, it's too sensitive of an issue to do that. And
is she good enough to make me look exactly like Brian Kilmeade? Because that would be pretty cool.
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
Anything's possible with enough contour.
Mm-hmm.
Her name, like I said, her name's Devin Broadwater. She did my makeup for the Tyrus event. She did it for the Night of Rockstars event that I emceed, which was an amazing charity. And I just wanted her to come because she puts it on in a way that like makes it last. So I can get it done during the show. It'll be good for that night. Brian Kilmeade's on Fox right now.
Or is it?
Yeah, it's Ryan Wiggins.
I'm not here.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I'm thinking about doing it. She's going to come in here and do it during the show. It'd be a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if we could do it, we could do it on a Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You want yours done?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, I do. I want to look hot for Brian. I want him to be walking past me, notice me, and then double take. Dang.
If the stakes weren't so high, I would absolutely fund you getting like overly made up to deadpan the whole thing with Brian Kilmeade.
Well, as a guy, though, like I don't want to look pretty.
You want to look like TV.
I want to look like the ultimate
TV.
version of myself. Yeah. Oh. That's what I want.
What do you think would have to be done?
First, I'd start with hair implants.
First hair. That's not makeup. But
so
anyway.
she could do that. That'd be great.
She could just draw it.
Sure. Yeah, draw it like coming down my face like real emo. Plastered to my forehead. And I'll wear emo clothes. And I'll pretend that I am the lead singer of Fall Out Boy.
You said you wanted to look your absolute best.
Well, maybe my best is the lead singer of an emo band.
Yeah. It's all relative.
What type of makeup do you want done? Do you know any makeup products?
You're going to be shocked about this. I don't really know that much about makeup. So whatever the professional would suggest, I would just say yes to.
I think airbrushing. He needs some airbrushing.
Brandon on YouTube says,
And
you
some
need to clip
tie-dyeing.
that I want to look hot for Brian and use it in the show promos.
But I'm part of Brian.
Done and done.
I'm half of Brian, the couple. So I that doesn't make sense.
Gosh, this
Get rid
is
of
an
that.
if you know situation right now. People are going, what? Also, I suggested to Brad and Hannah while you were out that maybe the three of you start doing a weekly 5-minute to 20-minute or whatever it turns it out after the show, where the three of you just get to talk about what goes on behind the scenes or potentially elaborating on some of those more inside jokes that people who don't listen all the time might
could understand.
Mm-hmm. That sounds great. We'll do that.
Put it on the Annie Frey Show podcast.
Okay, well, done.
You have to let them talk too. You can host that one.
If he
What are we
hosts it,
gonna
we're
say?
not going to get to talk.
After
let
3
Hannah
hours,
host it.
we're going to go,
He'll be like,
we
Brad.
had one more thing we wanted to tell
Brad,
you.
where's my
Behind the
audio
scenes
cuts?
stuff? Behind the scenes stuff. Okay.
Here's what Annie's really like. Every day, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, you should. You should get it off your chest.
Ryan's therapy session.
Probably needs
on the
to.
Annie Frey Show podcast.
I came across this. It was on Twitter, and it was a clip of a new Netflix stand-up comedy special that's going to be added. I really enjoy watching stand-up comedians who are from completely different walks of life than I am. I think it's a great study in culture. Where are you coming from? What's your life experience? Where do you see humor in life? And I think that when you use stand-up comedy, people say things that you don't get to hear people say anywhere else. I can laugh at things that aren't part of my life experience pretty easily in that context, and also kind of get perception, get a new perspective, I should say, of the world, of culture, how people might see, like, for instance, Bill Burr, when he talks about white women, I laugh a lot. He's so funny. He's married to a black woman. He is a white dude, and he talks about race a lot, and he talks very straightforward. Do you like Bill Burr?
From what I know about him, I haven't sat
haven't
down
watched
and
him?
watched a full special.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny. Do you like Bill Burr?
Oh, yeah. I like Bill Burr.
Dave Chappelle, speaking he speaks about race a lot, but he talks about culture. That's like what he talks about is culture. And we're not allowed to discuss those things really in the public town square anymore because everybody is prepared to be pointed at and shouted down for saying the thing the wrong way. I think comedy is where these conversations still get to happen, and I can watch people do stand-up comedy, and even if I don't think it's particularly like knee-slapping hilarious, I still feel like I learn about cultures and other people that way. Well, there's a Netflix special on right now, and it's being touted as featuring a non-binary comedian. Her name is Mae Martin, and we looked it up.
Mm-hmm.
She, her, they,
them
are what she says that she is totally fine with. So in respect to her, to make sure that we were using the proper pronouns that she wants to have said about her, while I talk about somebody who's non-binary, that's what she says. So this is so ironic to me when you're discussing issues about the gender spectrum and what is non-binary, to listen to somebody who is part of that culture explain it. Listen to this analogy.
But I would say if you're ever stuck with someone who doesn't understand the difference between gender and biological sex, and you're trying to explain it, the way I picture it is I picture like the gender spectrum with all its infinite, variety. Do you remember Gaston from Beauty and the Beast? He's like, no one fights like Gaston, that guy. So he's at one end of like the hyper masculine end of the gender spectrum. At the other end, you have Belle, who has Stockholm syndrome. It's so dark. But she's still an excellent role model because she can read. She loves the book. And then in the middle of the spectrum, you have the candlestick. And I really relate to the candlestick. They're awesome. Like, Lumiere's the best. And obviously, the more you empower Lumiere, the more fun Gaston and Belle are going to have. Lumiere's like, be my guest. Like, partying.
You watching that special?
No. I didn't really hear. I heard a lot of canned laughter that maybe was real.
Yeah, she's in a big
it's a
theater.
big auditorium.
Her delivery isn't bad, but I didn't really hear any jokes.
I think that's because it's more educational than it is comedy, which is what I was saying back on the Disney stuff. Like you put a movie out there and you make the whole thing about the issue that you're stumping for. These different companies, and in this instance, this specific comedian, I think they're willing to trade the entertainment value that's supposed to come out of the entertainment industry because they believe that people on the other end of that exchange want the education, even at the expense of the entertainment. But I got a problem with her whole freaking premise here. I think that you could look at Gaston and say, like, in the world of toxic masculinity, right now, Ryan or Brad, which one of you who would be more toxically masculine between the two of you?
Between me and Brad?
Yeah.
Me. No doubt. I'm like the Gaston of the show. Brad is like the almost Gaston.
Like the clock.
Yeah.
Cogsworth.
He's the maid.
Well, don't scoop me on this.
We should ask Brad. But
Toxic masculinity is something that kind of exists. Now, you two set aside Hannah. If you've ever been in a bar and you've had somebody like, I can only, you're
Like
shaking
me.
your head.
Yes.
You have somebody like me walk up.
You know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Belly sucked in, chest puffed out.
No, you don't. Anyway. Hannah, toxic masculinity in a bar.
Yes. Is this one of those things, Annie, that you and I have talked about before where you and your girlfriend give each other the look and then you're like, oh, look at that unicorn over there. Let's go.
we should explore that.
Yes.
This idea.
Holy smokes, a unicorn.
It's
Take me there. Let's go together. That's what I sound like when I'm doing my bar.
You're something. It's not toxically masculine.
It's just.
I will slay it. We will eat it.
I wish in the studio you could have seen Ryan immediately claim toxic masculinity, and Brad was like, I am way more toxically masculine than you.
Brad has a truck. I used to drive like a Yaris.
What's the most masculine thing, Ryan, like in your daily lifestyle? Like, what's the most toxically masculine thing that you do?
I will put on a song every morning and do like a training montage.
Why is that toxic?
He doesn't do that. He's just making
Just
crap.
punching bags and stuff.
But like I've been sitting here the whole time while you guys have been talking about this, like, what are my toxic masculine traits? Because I've got masculine traits for sure.
Toxic.
But what are my toxic masculine
Here's
traits?
the thing. Like OG Thor, naturally, on our YouTube says, I mean, what do you expect at a bar? Just saying.
Hey.
False.
What?
First of all, I met my husband. Technically, I met him at Wild Country, which was a bar, and he was never toxic towards me. There's a way that men can interact with women and pursue women and not be toxic.
Absolutely.
But if you are a female who's ever had the person show up who cannot wait to grace you with his presence, you know exactly what toxic masculinity is. It does exist, but again, it has become a commodity that people use to sell you something. And the idea of Gaston being toxically masculine, I can kind of concede that, Gaston's masculinity is the only thing that is important to him, and whatever serves that masculinity is the most important thing to everyone else through Gaston's eyes. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then what this comedian does, though, is she makes the counterpoint to the opposite end of the spectrum of Gaston, because I don't think that saying that he's toxically masculine, I don't think that that's really a compliment to Gaston. It isn't from me.
No.
I doubt it is from this comedian. On the other end of the spectrum, and we're talking about the story Beauty and the Beast here, she puts Belle, and she gives her two qualities. In order to establish Belle as setting the opposite end of the spectrum, of the gender spectrum from Gaston, which I don't know if what she's implying is toxic femininity, because it sounds like it is. She gives her two qualities. The first she says is she has Stockholm Syndrome. The second she says is that she is a role model because, she can read. If you know the story of Beauty and the Beast, and that came out, I think, when I was in like 3rd grade or 4th grade, it's probably my favorite Disney movie. A lot has to do with like the time in my life when it became a thing. Belle was like an original feminist. in the Disney princess world. She was educating herself when women in the town did not educate herself. She was not interested in finding a man and settling down. She took care of her widowed father. She gave up her freedom for her father so that he could have his freedom. And then, because of her independence and her ability to see something through the beast that was more than just what was on the surface, she actually transforms a man because of who she is. That is potentially a heroine for a lot of people if you chose to see it that way. But in a comedy bit where you're setting one side of the spectrum to be toxically masculine Gaston, you're going to relegate Belle, which means beauty, and of course she was beautiful, she didn't mention that, with the idea that she has Stockholm Syndrome and that, oh yeah, that's right, don't forget, we all love Belle because she's a female and she can read. And then what she does is she goes and she says, right there in the middle is the candlestick. Lumiere chases a French broom around the mansion all the time, and they're like going behind the curtains. Like, he is, I said this on Twitter, like, I never have thought of Lumiere as anything other than, wait a second, he's a freaking candlestick. The idea that you would have to take the time to step back and gender and sexualize a candlestick. If you look at what Disney did, Disney made Lumiere, who actually wasn't a candlestick. The whole point of the story is that he was a man, was in love with and in a relationship with the French maid who turned into a broom, and they had a relationship. Her whole point here, like everything about her premise about gender fluidity is wrong. And it's not funny. What, at the end, what purpose does this serve other than to put the conversation out there, the subject out there, and have it be discussed?
Yeah, the problem is, too, that it's a rich topic because everybody's on pins and needles about that stuff. Everybody's a little, what am I supposed to do about this? What am I supposed to do? I mean, we as conservatives, I think, don't care as much, but society in general is a little, that's like the cutting edge of where the movement is, the social movement. So she's right there. She could use that nervous laughter. And I think that's actually all she's getting in that clip is nervous laughter because they're not really jokes. She's just sort of bringing something into the open and saying, hey, it's okay to laugh at this, but it's not really a thing. It's not a joke.
You said conversation, and that's not a conversation, though. That's her talking to you about it. That doesn't open the conversation up. It doesn't do anything. It's like, you guys sit here and listen to what I'm saying so I can explain this to you. And then she can explain. I don't know. I think she explained it incorrectly because Lumiere had some very toxic masculine traits.
The broom didn't seem to care.
As a toxically masculine man.
You got to practice that on the break.
I would agree with your assessment of Belle because I don't necessarily care if a woman can read or not.
It's not needed for you.
No, not for me. Not for me at the bar. Like, you can just point at something and say, I want that one.
You just grunt.
Yeah. And people are like, ooh.
Bathroom's right over
hot.
there, Ryan.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Did you know that Goodwill has been around for over 100 years and that they serve thousands of people each year with employment services? Goodwill believes that everyone deserves the opportunity to have a rewarding job despite a disability or disadvantage. How can they do that? It's because of you. Every time you shop or donate to Goodwill, you are helping Goodwill fulfill their mission of changing lives through the power of work. Thank you for giving hope.
I'm excited to tell you a little, I guess, good economic news. We haven't had a whole lot of that lately. I was talking with Stewie just the other day, and guess what? Rates have gone down again. If you are thinking about refinancing your mortgage, or if you've gotten a new mortgage or done a refinance in the last 90 days or so, it's probably time to consider doing it again. Well, why? Well, rates continue to go down. When you use the bagel loan with Stewart's American Mortgage, you're not going to pay any fees. There aren't costs associated with going through that whole process. So you call or text Stewie at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. And you say, I just got this mortgage and I have such and such rate. Can you help me? And he's going to tell you exactly how he can. And the purpose of going to Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage is because when you go through that bagel loan process, it doesn't cost you to do it. And this is kind of a no-brainer. So as rates continue to drop right now, consider a bagel loan refinance, a cash-out refinance, maybe to pay down some high-interest credit card debt with Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with Truehold. Truehold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want, and Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since Truehold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit Truehold.com and discover how much Truehold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
If you're like most Americans, you can see things are out of control. Global problems have local consequences, too many of them. And if the next news headline spins us into chaos, you'd better be ready. Grocery store supply chains are only as strong as their weakest link. Don't wait for them to break. Today's the day to secure emergency food for everyone in your family. My Patriot Supply is America's largest preparedness company. Our specially packaged and delicious food stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. It'll be there when you need it. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and pick up several emergency food kits. There are a dozen different sizes that average over 2,000 calories per day. As we all know, calories equals energy equals survival. And as you'd expect from a true preparedness company, our food kits are in stock and ship quickly. Those who know what's coming are preparing today. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. mypatriotsupply.com.
Man, what a great party you're throwing here. This wasp nest is great.
Yeah, man, we got about 70 wasps in here. It's one in, one out.
Too bad we can't fit any more wasps in here. It looks like they're having fun outside, stinging all the kids. Oh, man, who just pulled up?
Oh, no, it's the pest control company again with those green wheels. They seem to kill every one of my parties.
This is Derek, the owner of All Solutions Pest Control. We'd love to help you out, so please visit us online at allsolutionspestcontrol.com.
If a pest-free home is your goal, call All Solutions Pest Control.
Diamonds. Everyone loves them, and at Shane Company, we've been experts in the diamond business since 1929. This means we know diamonds better than anyone else. At Shane Company, you can now choose between either a natural or lab-grown diamond. For your engagement ring, diamond studs, or diamond pendant. When it comes to our new lab-grown diamonds, we take the same approach we do for all of our diamonds and apply our same superior standards. We work with the best diamond vendors, people who've perfected the art and science of creating gorgeous diamonds in a lab, with the quality we're known for. Then we hand select only the best stones cut by the best diamond cutters. Plus, all our diamonds are eligible for our free lifetime warranty and upgrades. We'll show you our huge selection in every price range and help you select the perfect diamond. No matter what you choose, whether it's a natural diamond or a lab-grown diamond, you can be confident that with Shane Company, you're getting the most beautiful diamond.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
On the Friday show, we take you into the weekend with a Reardon Roundtable. Jane Duker, Alderman Jack Hoder, and soon-to-be State Senator Nick Schroer, all on the panel.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
I went down to the Grundy County auction.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
My mind told me I should proceed with caution, but my heart said go ahead and make a bid on that. And
I said, hey, pretty lady, won't you give me a sign? I'd give anything to make you mine, oh mine. I'll do your bidding and be at your beck and call. Yeah, I've never seen anyone looking so fine. Man, I gotta have her, she's a one of a kind. I'm going once, going twice. I'm sold on the lady in the second row. She's an 8, she's a 9.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being with us on a December Friday afternoon. This is my first day of December, and I had to rethink all of my. Whenever I was looking through my folders and the dates that I was writing, December is here, and that's kind of shocking. Are you guys surprised that December is it crept up on you, or
not really?
I said it to Ryan yesterday. I was like, today is December.
I would have bet money that you'd have been like, no, I've been completely prepared for December to hit at this exact moment.
That's what I said.
Yeah. Right, Ryan, you're usually the one who's the opposite. You guys switched on me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was taken by surprise, and I was not.
I think Brad has already gotten your Christmas gift.
I have picked out yours, but I haven't actually ordered them.
You waiting to see if we deserve them?
Yeah, no, well, I'm waiting to see
if they're on sale.
I'm actually waiting to see if something better comes along because I've got a good idea, but it's not. It's not top tier. It's good, but not great.
Like a C+ gift?
I would say B-.
Okay. Mhm. I bet you would. We'll wait and see. We do Ask Me Anything each week at this time. If you have questions that you want to ask the crew, we're going to ask a couple here within the studio, but you got to get on the Annie Frey YouTube channel and post your questions there. Hannah is going to highlight those and ask the crew. The first question that I'm going to ask, let's get to it
If you
here.
have anything to ask me, just go ahead.
I want the truth.
Say it.
Thank you for your honesty.
You can't handle the truth. And the truth shall set you free.
So on the YouTube live chat poll today, here is what you were voting. So if you're going there to leave a comment as to what you want the crew here to answer, you can vote in this poll today. If in crisis, which show member do you believe you would most closely emulate under duress? Hannah, Brad, Ryan, or Annie? Let's go around the room here real quick. I mean, obviously we would be ourselves, but let's go around the room here real quick and discuss how we all handle emergency crisis situations when it lands, when it hits, your fight or flight instinct. There's a third F, fight, flight, or
fun.
That's what you need to know about Ryan. I can't remember what the other one is. Somebody commented on the YouTube live chat. Hannah, your thoughts on this poll question here real quick. Anything you want to throw out for people who might be trying to figure out who they most align with?
I would say that I ask a lot of questions. That's my immediate response, is to ask questions. What's going on? Is this really happening? Looking around.
Is this real? Is life real?
Running around.
Is this really happening?
And I kind of surprised myself with everything that happened early in the week. Usually I feel like I'm a leader, but in that situation, I was not a leader. I was looking for a leader. And I found one.
Well, to illustrate, I'm sure you probably heard, did you discuss this yesterday at all? Do you know what happened earlier this week?
I kind of heard about it.
There were alarms going off in the building that were
saying that there was an emergency
in the building.
Yes, and that we should proceed to a fire exit and wait further
And
instructions.
not use, It wasn't specific about the kind of emergency.
Yeah.
So
But the elevators said they were not working.
Yeah. So we all had to, and it of course happened at 1:04.
Right as you're going back in.
So we were like, oh crap, what do we do? So Hannah, you said you thought you would be a leader and you weren't.
Yes, I was not a leader. I was a follower. But I was ready to go. And I was ready to do the things, but after Annie.
Brad, what about you? In a crisis situation.
So, in a crisis situation, my very first step is to analyze what's going on and formulate a plan of what to do. And to a lot of people, so the three fight, flight, or freeze are the three things.
Freeze, thank you. Not fun.
Not fun. Not farts.
Yeah.
Which is where you just sit there and soil yourself.
For some people, it's both.
I don't panic. I do not panic. I've noticed in car accident situations that time almost seems to go in slow motion for me. So it's not panic. It's a lot of analyzing. But I'm also not like, I'm going to jump out front and take charge. I'm going to figure out what it is that I need to do and analyze what is going to be
Kind of like a know your role.
A best thing. Yeah. And if nobody jumps out in front, then I'll jump out in front and be like, all right, I need you to do this. I need you to do that.
Our friend Todd says Brad's yelling at that alarm and fire like Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump. Come and get me, fire!
So I'll give an example of how this has played out in my life. I was going across a stand span, and as I was going across the stand span, I saw a car roll over 3-4 times heading toward me. So I was heading toward St. Louis. They were heading toward
When
us.
was this?
Oh,
Recently.
boy. No, this has probably been 3-4 years ago.
Pre on the show.
Pre on the show, yeah. I was heading over I was actually going to a place called Zamzow, which is for my parents' trucking company. But anyway, this car rolled. It was surreal as it was happening because it was happening in slow motion. It looked like a race car crash, and I was like, oh, that car is going to crash. And so I pulled the truck over to the side and put it in park on the bridge, which I was on the opposite side. I looked at my mom and I said, call 911 because she is a panic person whenever things go wrong. So I said, call 911. I go across the 4 lanes of traffic, making sure I'm safe. And whenever I get over to the car, there's about 5 or 6 people standing around just staring at one another.
Yeah.
And so when I noticed that, I was like, all right, I need to give these people jobs. And so I looked, there was a guy in an Air Force BDU, APU, I think is what they call him. Anyway, Air Force garb. I said, do you have anything in your car for injuries? And he's like, I got some towels and stuff because this lady's arm was bleeding really bad. So
I can't wait to hear Ryan Wiggins.
I was like,
follow-up story.
Go get towels. And so I started giving people orders. Like the guy said the passenger door wouldn't open. The driver's door wasn't going to open. The guy said the passenger door isn't going to open. It's stuck. And it's just bent a little bit. And so I just grabbed it. I was like, the car rolled over 4 times. We're going to bend this door open. So I just grabbed the door and pulled it open.
I've been in a rollover accident. We were driving to Chicago from the Metro East when I was in 7th grade. And we were going 65 miles an hour up the highway, up 55. And our car swerved once to avoid an animal that ran out in front of us in the highway, swerved to get back on the road. Folks just hit the animal. Lessons learned. Wheels on the left side of the car popped, and my whole family was in the car, and we rolled 7-8 times into the median going 65 miles an hour. This is scary stuff. Brian, what about you? What's your reaction?
In any real crisis situation, I'm almost underwhelmed. I almost don't do enough. I'm super cool as a cucumber.
It's like the Fonz.
I straight up put my leather jacket on. I walk, no matter what's happening, I'll just go over, I'll elbow the jukebox, and the song starts playing. And I'm like, everybody needs to cool out.
Times of crisis.
All right, so what really happens?
Pretty much that, other than the Fonzie stuff. I don't really do anything. And I also make sure everybody around me is not freaking out.
That is, the people who do freak out don't like people like you in situations like that.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, why isn't anybody doing anything? Where's the answers? And you're like, the building is on fire, but
yeah, unless there is a harpoon through my stomach, I'm like, it's okay.
So the other day when the alarms were going off, there were different groups of people, and there was a group of people in the kitchen. You would have been there.
Yeah, I don't
eating the food.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The food's gonna spoil if everybody's gone.
Do you remember when our headphones went off? And
that wasn't a real crisis, though.
Yeah,
that
but
was just
you stood up and you started panicking.
Well, I stood up because I didn't know if anybody else could hear what I was hearing, and I was trying to get facial reactions to see, do you guys hear this? Because it's gone.
There's a YouTube short that shows the whole thing.
That is my favorite short of all time.
You just left.
Did I?
The studio crashed and you just left the room.
Oh, I left to see if it was on out there.
Yeah.
So yeah. I was because I didn't know if anybody else was hearing it.
Share the link in the live chat.
See what I can do.
I realized going back to that car accident that I was talking about in that moment, and as a 7th grader, that I am all business in a crisis. Like 100%. What's the situation? No emotion. What needs to be done? And I can take charge like that, and it will. Specifically, that was probably one of the most dramatic. I mean, I don't know. I've been carjacked. Had a gun pointed at me in traffic. I've experienced some things, but in the moment, it is what needs to be done. Allow people to have their panic if they need to have their panic, but help around them. And so it is all business. And then it will psychologically affect me pretty heavy afterwards. Like after I was carjacked, I didn't sleep for a month. Like I couldn't close my eyes at home in bed because I couldn't stop replaying. Like I ended up talking to a personal friend who is a therapist, and she's like, you have PTSD. And I didn't realize that it was PTSD because that sounded like a bigger thing than I was qualified to have, but it was. And and like that really affected me after the fact. So what I can be very, very calm under pressure and get a lot done in that moment. And then it's not that I don't have the emotion. It definitely hits me afterwards. So
I have been asking around the office if anybody figured out what that alarm was, and somebody compared your actions, Annie, to Princess Storm. She was on the other side of the building. And said,
that girl, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, she said, I'm not going down with this ship. Let's go. And she grabbed people from the other side of the building, just like you were grabbing people from this side.
Well,
so
we
you
needed
two
answers.
Act the same in crisis.
That doesn't surprise me at all, because you're walking around and you just want somebody to give you the answers. And that's what I was doing, is I was walking around going, what is happening? Somebody come tell us. I was like pointing at people. I'm like, are we still broadcasting or are we getting out of this building? But I had a time crunch. We needed to go back on the air or not. And we needed to figure it out. So that's the way we all are. If you want to go vote in the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll, we would love to have your thoughts. Leave a comment and tell us why you recognize one of us to be more closely related to how you would react in the comments. Hannah will highlight those throughout the rest of the show. And the rest of your Ask Me Anything questions, Brian and Brad both have one, so we will hear from them and yours in the YouTube live chat when we return. Don't go away.
My mind told me I should proceed with caution, but my heart said go ahead and make a bid on that.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I'll do your bidding and be at your beck and call. Yeah, I've never seen anyone looking so fine, man. I gotta have her, she's a one of a kind. I'm going once, going twice, I'm sold on a lady in the second row.
Our $200 Christmas gift card offer has been extended through year's end at all Dave Munganast family of dealerships pre-owned locations. Hi, this is Jessica Munganast. Christmas is an important holiday in our family, and that's why we are celebrating by rewarding you with a $200 gift card with the purchase of any of our 300 pre-owned vehicles in stock. Come see the Munganast difference today, or shop us 24/7 at davemunganast.com since 1965.
Well, if you're somebody who's leery of just taking too many medicines, maybe you're getting older and you just have to take more and more because of all the stuff that happens as you get older. One of the great things about Fountains Family Dentistry is that they can fix your sleep without medicine. It's called an oral appliance. It's a retainer that you wear at night. I've been wearing one for 10 years, and I'm to the point where I travel with it. I don't sleep even with a nap without it because I know that if I don't use it, I'm not getting great sleep. It's because of sleep apnea, and so many people have sleep apnea and don't know it. Maybe you're one of those people. So check them out, fountainsfamilydentistry.com. You can give them a call and just explain the situation that you're in. Hey, maybe I have sleep apnea, maybe I don't. They can say, well, I recommend doing this or that, or maybe just coming in and having a consultation. But they'll let you know, and they'll give you the prices up front. You'll be surprised that it's a lot cheaper and, again, a lot more healthy than using medicine for everything. So check them out again. They're in Fairview Heights, Illinois, Fountains Family Dentistry, right off of Highway 64, easy to get to no matter where you are, especially if you're in Illinois. FountainsFamilyDentistry.com.
97.1 FM Talk is embracing the spirit of giving to support SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Please join us and donate to the Tree of Hope. Funds raised help the hospital offer programs not covered by insurance, but so necessary to a child's recovery. Most importantly, all children at Cardinal Glennon receive the best care regardless of their family's ability to pay. Thank you for supporting Cardinal Glennon. Please make your donations to the Tree of Hope today at 971talk.com/Cardinal Glennon or text the word HOPE to 20357.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AAMCO.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
If you're retiring soon, join us Saturday at 9:30 a.m. for your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The voice for hardworking, free-thinking Americans.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
We go together, better than birds of a feather, you and me. We change the weather, yeah. I'm feeling
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I've been dancing on top of cars and stumbling out of bars. I follow you through the dark, can't get enough. You're the medicine and the pain, the tattoo inside my brain, and baby, you know it's obvious. I'm a sucker for you.
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy to be with you this afternoon. Friday. That's a fun thing to be able to say. We're doing a little Ask Me Anything here in the studio. In the 2 o'clock hour, we're going to have Laura Michel Insurance in the studio, and we are going to be talking X's and O's. Ryan Wiggins' glorious return to the studio this week after vacation. I hope you put the right amount of effort into this very important edition of X's and O's.
I put the wrong amount of effort because I put too much into it.
Oh, you think it's... You're speaking highly of it. You're setting expectations high, which is
the bar is too high.
Not like you.
No, I like to keep the bar nice and low.
That's literally what you said about your marriage.
That's not wrong. I did say that.
That's you said. Explain your philosophy on that.
Well, early in the marriage, if you set the bar low, then every year for Valentine's Day, whatever holiday comes along, if you do a little bit more than last year, it's always impressive.
Is this a good philosophy?
Of course it's not for you girls because you're receiving worse gifts. But your expectations are always exceeded.
Here's the problem with that. You're looking out for your interest before you're looking out for her interest.
That's from Pastor.
No, I'm not. I am looking out for her psychology.
No.
Yes,
you are
because
absolutely,
she feels better
you are
about
absolutely looking out for you more than you are for her. Because you're saying, what is the easiest thing for me to do to make myself look good?
No, it takes a lot of work to do this.
You also said earlier in the show that it's not important for the woman you're interested in to have the skill to read.
That's still correct.
In my notes for today, I just wrote down setting bar low in marriage.
Ryan Wiggins, you could do a podcast.
Setting the bar low and talk about a variety of topics.
Guys, here's what you do.
We start with marriage.
Ask me anything. You got a question to ask the crew?
I do. It's based on my Wiggins America from yesterday that DeSantis is releasing a personal memoir about
I slept through it.
His life and Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I know you were awake at the beginning of it and then boom, you were out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was not enthralling.
Yeah. No, I was just in bed.
Based on just the idea of political candidates or whoever releasing books, is there anybody that you would because everybody in the room seemed to agree that DeSantis's book actually sounds fairly interesting among that type of book, the autobiographies.
What's the question?
Does anybody stand out to you that you'd like to read more than him? Is there any political figure that you would say, you know what, I'd like to read this person's book?
No. I think out of anybody political, Ron DeSantis would easily be the one that I would pick. And I really want to read that.
Brad?
Barron Trump.
That's interesting. I can't think of anybody more. I don't even want to read the book, but I can't think of anybody more interesting.
I'll read his book.
Comes out in February.
I'm not a book person.
Well, you've read a couple of those, though.
I read autobiographies a lot. Autobiographies are history. Something I've said this before, and I get it. I'm archaic in this way. I don't have time for fiction. Other than maybe The Life of Human by Ryan Wiggins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
is that fiction?
You read it to find out.
No.
Once you get done, you'll go, did that happen or not?
No, you should get Ryan Wiggins' book. I would read it. I mean, he's my favorite politician that's out there right now. There's nobody else that I don't know. I don't care about politicians outside of what they can do for me.
Well, that was my point of the segment yesterday, is that I don't care about these people's books, but I still can't find somebody I'd be more interested in reading than his.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the question.
Okay.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Here's a question that came in that's just very pressing. Dirk from YouTube asked, do you prefer cats, dogs, or some other pet?
Dogs.
Dogs.
I want to say cats just because, but no, it's dogs.
Easily
Dogs
dogs.
is the right answer.
Easily dogs.
Cat people.
I don't get cat people.
I'm
Cat
terrified
people.
of cats.
There's people listening right now. They're like, what about cat people?
The reason that we don't get cat people is that they get some sort of parasite in the brain.
What?
You haven't heard about this? Oh, yeah.
This parasite is a real thing.
It's real, and I'm blaming it on everything.
Knock it off. No.
It's Brad?
Cat people or people
I've heard of
too?
it. They are.
What's
But
your
there's-
question?
Mine?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go with this one. What is your unexpected hidden talent?
Ooh. Like unexpected as in
Like
people
if-
don't know about it?
Yeah,
or?
people would look at that and go, "Wow, I didn't know you could do that."
Ooh, that's a hard one to think about.
Ryan's is comedy.
Yeah, nobody knows. I try. People are like, nah, I don't know. You're enjoying that. Oh,
She's
good
just
for you.
chopping you down, man.
Yeah, I see that.
Sometimes you're really funny. It always catches me
That's
off guard.
great. That's great to know. All right, now I'm standing up.
Why?
Now,
you getting worried
I'm
up?
getting invested in the show a little bit.
About time. It's almost over.
1:53 on a Friday afternoon. He's like, maybe I should invest.
You want me to tell you what
What-
my hidden talent is?
I'm afraid to hear it, but go ahead.
I don't know if I can do this into the mic, but I can pop my shoulder
Oh
out
gosh,
of the socket.
no. That's not a talent.
Sure it is.
No, that's just weird.
Yeah. Well, what's yours?
A talent is not like being able to hurt your body.
I'm musical. I can sing sort of, and I can play the piano and the guitar and the ukulele.
Okay. I guess those are talents.
I don't really. Did Nick Johnson really say that we have a 971?
Yes.
We said
Wait, what?
on Giving Tuesday, we said Nick Johnson was on the show with us, and he's with Vitae Foundation. And we said that if we got a $971 donation to Vitae Foundation, that I would perform a Christmas song,
Yes.
and they got one.
Oh!
So Nick said that, and Annie said, "Heck, I'll do it."
Yeah. And now I need to see a receipt.
Yeah.
But there may be a musical performance coming up. My apologies in advance, but thank you for whomever made that donation.
Yes.
Do you have a
That's
real talent or
amazing.
just weird body things?
I don't know. I write and stuff, but I don't know if any of this is hidden. These are things we've all talked about. I knew you could play the guitar and stuff. It's not hidden talents.
Guitar.
Do you think that the majority of people in the audience know that?
Yeah. I'm going to say
You're
yes.
a liar. You couldn't even get that word out all the way.
Brad, what's your hidden talent?
So this is, I don't know how to, I
This
don't know
is
what you
all
would
a
call it.
ruse so that Brad can finally talk about
Yes.
his hidden
Some
talent.
hidden talent that he
Listen, my hidden talent is bringing up my hidden talent. No.
has. You're very good at that.
I don't know what you would call it, fashion, but not really fashion. I'm good at picking out fashionable clothes and fashionable outfits for people, guys and girls. And
Why don't you start with Wiggins?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
I
actually
could-
good at that for dolls.
I could actually make him. I could make you look amazing.
do it. All
He
right.
just asked me to do his makeup earlier in the
Yeah.
show, so you could do
Yeah,
his
do it
clothes.
before the Kill Me event.
Wardrobe.
All right, I will do it.
Somebody's doing my makeup,
I'll
and now you're
pick out an
dressing
outfit.
me.
You got to buy it though.
Oh.
He's not buying it.
Yeah, you got to go to Goodwill.
Yeah, makeup. You guys should do that.
Ooh,
Make
that
him
would
look
be
good
fun.
from Goodwill.
We can do that.
Yeah, you can get some good stuff at Goodwill.
You can.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I have your Christmas shirt in my car.
Ooh.
Do you remember the
I
shirt?
wanna buy this shirt.
Do you remember the shirt I'm talking about?
No.
What?
Wait.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
I do. It's
Yeah,
the
you
one
do.
with the bows in the weird places.
It's a women's medium.
That's not going to
Just
be
gonna make it
flattering.
even better. Oh man. Hey, let's give away TSO tickets here real quick. Trans-Siberian Orchestra is coming to the Enterprise Center. Tickets are on sale right now. $1 of each ticket's going to be donated to SSM Health Cardinal Glennon, and we're going to give away a pair of tickets for the Saturday, December 10th show at 3 p.m. to caller number, I don't know, let's do Brad a favor, 8. Right now, 314-241-9797. That's 314-241-9797. Caller number 8 wins a pair of TSO tickets. X's and O's with Laura Michel Insurance in a minute.
Guys, 2022's been a roller coaster year, so spoil her this Christmas by giving her the next best thing to wearing nothing at all with soft, silky, naturally nude pajamas exclusively from Pajamagram. Sensuous and smooth, naturally nude pajamas feel just like her own bare skin, even more alluring than lingerie. The texture and touch of these pajamas is so seductive that you'll both love the feel of them. She'll love the feeling of wearing next to nothing at all, and you'll love the way they look. Best of all, Pajamagram does the wrapping for you with free gift packaging. Order today, and Pajamagram will also include a free matching naturally nude nightie with the purchase of naturally nude pajamas. That is free gift packaging and a free naturally nude nightie when you order today. Just go to Pajamagram.com. It's fast, easy, and delivery by Christmas is guaranteed. That's Pajamagram.com.
I was just talking about the Vitae Foundation, a great place for you to make your end-of-the-year donations, vitaefoundation.org. I always encourage people, $9.71. Go make that donation right now. It's something that you can spare. It's probably payday for you. Reach out to vitaefoundation.org and make that donation. The button is in the top right. These are people who are helping women get the information they need so they can make an educational decision to choose life. And it puts women at the center of this incredibly important movement. If we call ourselves pro-life, if we want to advocate for the unborn, we have to support these women who are in a crisis, who are not in a position where they're being supported by people in their family, or they're scared, or they can't afford to access the care that they think that they need. Vitae Foundation puts them in connection with places that will provide them with all of this important scientific information. Donate today to Vitae Foundation. Anything you can give helps. You can go online to vitaefoundation.org.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1979. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1979. That's 800-777-1979. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1979. 800-777-1979.
KFTK FM Florissant.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group.
97.1 FM Talk.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A celebration of life on Lisa Brady, Fox News. 4 slain college students being remembered at a service in Idaho today as police continue a search for answers 3 weeks after they were stabbed to death in an off-campus house.
In a new update from police, they confirmed a 6th person was on the lease of that off-campus house where the students were killed, but they do not believe that that person was there during the time of the attack. Also, authorities have elaborated more on their efforts regarding the forensic evidence in this case. They say Idaho State Police crime lab scientists have provided testing analysis results to detectives, but they say specific results won't be released to protect the integrity of this investigation.
Fox's Christina Coleman in Moscow, Idaho, where the University of Idaho community remains on edge.
Most of the places I go and the people I talk to, we're all scratching our heads and we try not to speculate, but that's all we can go on.
Police are saying they believe it was a targeted attack after a recent statement that seemed to contradict that. The White House says President Biden wasn't changing the U.S. position on nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine when he said he'd be willing to talk to Russia's President Putin.
Putin has shown absolutely no inclination to be interested in dialogue of any kind. In fact, quite the contrary.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says there are no plans to talk to Putin right now and that any potential for a negotiated settlement would be up to Ukraine's president. The White House also says no plans to push for changes in the Inflation Reduction Act after the president suggested alongside the visiting French leader yesterday that European manufacturing concerns could be addressed. Federal safety officials want regulators in the U.S. and Canada to call for immediate inspections of helicopters used by tour operators stores, police departments, and many others. This stemming from the NTSB probe of a Bell 407 crash in Hawaii, where the tail boom separated from the chopper fuselage during a tour flight. America is listening to Fox News.
You've got advanced prostate cancer, but you're not waiting around. You want straight talk, the facts about Orgovix.
Orgovix Relagolix 120 milligram prescription tablets is a treatment for adults with advanced prostate cancer. Fact: Orgovix is a different kind of androgen deprivation therapy treatment, a pill, not an injection. Orgovix may cause serious side effects, including a heart condition called QT prolongation. Tell your doctor right away if you feel dizzy, faint, have a racing or pounding heart, or chest pain. Orgovix can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during treatment and for 2 weeks after Orgovix treatment. The most common side effects include hot flushes, increased blood sugar and blood fat levels, muscle and joint pain, decreased blood hemoglobin levels, increased liver enzymes, tiredness, constipation, and diarrhea. Other side effects include weight gain, decreased sex drive, and erectile function problems. Orgovix may cause infertility. Talk to your doctor if infertility is a concern for you.
Go with Orgovix. Ask your doctor. For more facts, visit gowiththefacts.com.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Pretty nice boost in temperature this afternoon, looking for a high of 58, but with that comes strong and gusty southerly winds under partly to mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, maybe a spot shower. There's a weak cool front coming by, still very windy. 30 degrees, Saturday sunny and chilly, 38. Sunday, a spot of freezing drizzle first thing in the morning, but no big deal. 45 and clouds in the afternoon. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
At Neovitin, our goal is to create safe, dependable multivitamins to support your everyday nutrition when you need it most. That's why Dr. Ribicki formulated Neovitin Original Formula Multivitamin with 20 daily ingredients, including B vitamins for energy support, vitamin C for immune support, and our 4-ingredient proprietary blend that you won't find in any other multivitamin. With a 4.8 out of 5-star rating on Trustpilot, you can be sure you are getting the highest quality nutritional support with Neovitin. And as always, a portion of the proceeds from the sale of Neovitin Original Formula Multivitamin are donated to the Ribicki Foundation to support pancreatic cancer research. That's nutritional support you can feel good about. Support your best life today with Neovitin Original Formula Multivitamin, available at your local Dierbergs, Schnucks, select independent pharmacies, and online with our easy-to-use monthly subscription at neovitin.com. That's neovitin.com. neovitin.com.
Prices are rising everywhere, and everyone wants to save a little bit of money. Mark Cox here from my friends at CarShield. If you want to control inflation, how about locking in your price and knowing it will never go up? That's what you get with CarShield right now, and here's why I love them. CarShield offers protection plans for about $100 a month. They cover more than ever before, and you get to pick and choose which coverage you get for your cars. You have control over that. Go to their website today. That is carshield.com/Cox. When you go on there, you'll see my smiling face. You can save 10%, and then you get to look at the options. Pick the premium that works for you and your budget, lock it in, and as long as you pay your premium every month, your coverage stays in effect, and the prices will never go up. Again, that's carshield.com/Cox or call 800-656-3113. That's 800-656-3113.
Beat the holiday rush and get the Mark Reardon special. 3 rooms, 0 resified, starting at $119. You can also get $50 off your air duct cleaning when you call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Zero Res, spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
Give the gift that's hard to wrap, but easy to give. The Steel Holiday Gift Guide has outdoor power tools and more for everyone on your list. Visit your local Steel dealer or go online to stihlusa.com/gift guide.
This holiday season, give the gift of life. Donate blood at the Odyssey Holiday Heroes Blood Drive Tuesday the 20th through Friday the 23rd at YMCA locations all over the region. Make an appointment at redcross.org.
Free speech has a home. 97.1 FM Talk.
Your home for conservative talk.
One of the only places where conservative ideas aren't shut out of the conversation.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right? You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Happy Friday. It's the Annie Frey Show at 2:08, which means we're going to play a little X's and O's here in just a second. But we do have a winner of those Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets. We've been giving them away all week, and Bob Block won, and he said he wanted us to say hi to Jenny. So, hello, Jenny. Hi.
Hi,
How
Jenny.
are you?
Hi, Jenny.
Hey, Jenny. And also, it's Andrew Weber's birthday from the YouTube live chat.
Yay, Andrew Weber.
Andrew Weber.
Who, from what I understand, is a huge Ryan Wiggins fan.
Yay. Hi, friend. Sorry that you're not going to TSO, though.
Lovely.
Bob Block got those TSO tickies.
Yeah, it was exciting. We gave tickets away all week, and if you didn't get to participate in that giveaway, stick around. Maybe there'll be some more giveaways here on the Annie Frey Show the rest of December. So, yeah, just keep listening. And we always kind of give a few extra tips on our live streams as well, so connect with us there. We have Laura Michel Insurance in studio with us right now. Laura, welcome into the show. We appreciate you being in here. I'll keep the microphone up for you.
Thanks.
I'm excited to have you here with us. You do personal and commercial insurance in St. Charles. You've been doing that for a while. You're pretty experienced.
Yeah, 25-year anniversary just recently.
So one of the things that I really appreciate about how you manage your relationships with your clients is, I think for a lot of people, insurance is something that once it happens, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, but you work really hard to continue to monitor especially commercial situations for people to make sure that any type of changes that come through an insurance situation that has to do with business changes, that you're always on top of it to make sure people aren't underinsured or overinsured.
Correct. Don't want to have any gaps or overlaps in coverage and don't want to pay for what you don't need.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to meet with people annually, especially commercial businesses before they renew.
Is it hard to do that right now with the economy? I mean, the economy is kind of, everyone's paying attention to all the dollars that they're spending right now. Mm-hmm. You need to have somebody who's going to make sure you're not overpaying for insurance right now, because people don't have as much expendable income as they used to.
That is correct, which is why it's important to have an annual review and meet with a professional as often as possible to make sure that you don't have those gaps and overlaps and make sure that all the changes are accounted for in your policy.
Yeah, 100%. Well, LauraMichaelInsurance.com, a great sponsor of the show. We're so happy to have this relationship with her. And if you are interested in personal insurance or in commercial insurance, give LauraMichaelInsurance.com a look, and it's MICHEL, LauraMichaelInsurance.com. You have brought Lori in to play a little X's and O's. Yay. We're excited. If you guys want to watch, you can go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Ryan, are you prepared to take over and get this party started?
I'm fully prepared. Lori is X's. Laura is O's. Have you decided who goes first? I'm not going to decide for you because you were fighting a little bit, so I want to let that fight play out and see who won. Who's going first?
Well, actually, Michael Mucker won, so I'm going first. This is Lori.
Okay. All right. Lori is going first as X's. All right, you've got a tic-tac-toe board behind you, wide open at the moment, so you can pick any square. I have a corresponding question to each square, but then you will pick one of our studio experts to answer that question for you, and then you will agree or disagree, and then either X gets the square or O based on whether you were right or wrong. Which square do you want to start with?
Okay, Brad, I'm going to start with square number one.
Square number one, top one.
Square number one. And you said Brad?
No, I was just referring to you, but...
No, I'm Ryan.
I'm sorry,
That's
Ryan.
okay.
You're Brad.
I call him
Brad.
Brian sometimes.
Yeah, we're a couple.
Brian, okay.
Not for real.
Seating chart. I was wrong. Okay, so now do I get to pick my person?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to pick Hannah.
Okay.
All right, Hannah, you have stumbled into a special category right out of the gate here.
Whoa.
So that's not stumbled into sound. I'm not going to play the sounder for that. That would be inappropriate. We are going to play, though, a clip because it's December. It's a Christmas clip.
Fantastic.
It is a bit of a Christmas song, and it is a very short portion. You have to tell me what song this is.
Name that tune?
It kind of is. We might do this more because
literally
it's December.
is?
It's a hurdle.
It literally is named that too.
I love
right.
Hurdle.
Here you
Love
go.
Hurdle.
Here is the clip.
Ooh.
Do it again.
Okay, here you go.
I'm
What
good
song
at these,
is
and
that?
I don't know what that is.
Uh,
How much information does she need to give you? Just the name of the song?
So just the name of the song or the artist. She could do either one.
Sounds like Mariah Carey to me.
Feliz Navidad?
Feliz Navidad. Lori, is that Feliz Navidad?
That
Agree
is-
or
that-
disagree?
That is not Feliz Navidad.
Do you know what it is, Lori?
I have no idea.
Okay, I don't
Okay.
either.
I have, yeah.
I would
no
guess
clue.
it sounds a little like you too, but
That's
I,
what I was
sound
like,
like
an rock group.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're on the right track. That is actually Bruce Springsteen's version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Oh, no wonder I don't know
Yeah,
that song.
Dan
It's
M got,
terrible,
Dan
and I
M
never
got
listened
it in
to
our
it.
chat.
Really?
Yeah?
Yeah, he said that's the boss.
Yes, it is. That's the boss. And I'm sorry to say, one of the worst Christmas songs ever made.
Over and over and over and over
Yes,
again.
and out of key.
It's terrible.
Someone said Last Christmas by Taylor Swift.
Not
Probably
quite.
also terrible. I
Not
don't know.
quite. But wisely, you said you disagreed, so you got the square. You are on the board.
Good
X's. Laura, that means it's your turn.
I'm going to go number 2.
Okay, right
Top
down
middle.
the line. Number 2, who is answering this question for you?
Cousin Annie Frey.
Let's do it.
All right, Annie
I'll
Frey.
get you a right answer if it's not a stupid question like the last one.
Ye, a.k.a. Kanye West, appeared on a very famous, very banned program this week saying, quote, "I love Hitler."
Alex Jones.
True.
Anyway.
Correct. Agreed.
We're just going to tell you all the things we equally know. Keep going. What's the question? Usually it's like, what color hat was he wearing?
The controversial lawsuit-riddled host got into an informational war with Kanye saying, "Well, I have to disagree with that." Who is the host who was talking with Kanye at the time?
Alex Jones was ironically the rational one in the room in that moment. And it was the Alex Jones show.
That is correct.
Yeah, Laura.
Thank you.
All right, good start.
All right,
so 2
we're
for
tied
2.
so far.
And that goes back to Lori now.
I'm going to choose number 9.
Number 9.
Bottom right.
Okay, who's answering this question for you?
Brad.
All right.
Brad, rarely has Saturday Night Live been hosted by a duo. The last time being in 2015 when Amy Poehler and Tina Fey hosted together, and before that, when Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen hosted in 2004. But it will happen this Saturday when these two, not 3 amigos, will host together. Name either one of the hosts.
Let's see. I can name either one.
Either one.
You called them the 3 amigos.
I didn't say anything. I was just reading
okay.
the question.
That you
So I got a
wrote.
2 out of a 3 shot.
Yeah,
So
don't-
that means
don't
if I
pick the
name
wrong one.
if I name 2 of the 3 amigos, I'm going to get one of them right.
You better name one person, though.
Oh, I'm just allowed to pick one.
You're allowed to pick
Okay.
one.
All right, let's go with
Just
Steve
name
Martin.
all of the people in Hollywood.
Okay, he's going with Steve Martin. Lori,
I'm going to agree.
you are both correct.
Nice.
Martin Short?
Steve Martin and Martin Short
Oh, I
are
didn't
hosting
watch that.
together.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
I said 9.
Yeah,
What? Why
I
is
said 9, yes.
Saturday Night Live making rational decisions all of a sudden?
they
I don't
want to
know.
make money.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of what we talked about already.
All right, back to Laura now with O's. You guys are 100% right now.
Chevy Chase was the third one, right?
He was
Yes.
the third, and he's not. Although they have all 3 hosted together.
Dusty Bottoms.
Yep.
Do you think that Chevy Chase will make an appearance? I bet he does.
I would love to see that.
A
That's
surprise
very
appearance.
possible.
In the audience during the monologue.
Heckling.
I'm calling it.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Laura, your turn.
Number 5.
Number 5. Who is answering for you?
I'll go with Hannah.
Okay.
Hannah, you two have stumbled into sound. That
Great.
means that we have a real quote from the week that I have run through artificial intelligence software. So this is a real quote, but it's going to sound kind of funny. You have to tell me who said this.
That's a big game, man. Well, I spoke to the coach and the players. I said, "You can do this." They went, "Oh yeah." They did it.
Yeah.
Do that again.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
That's a big game, man. Well, I spoke to the coach and the players. I said, "You can do this." They went, "Oh yeah." They did it.
Is that English?
That's a big game, man. Well, I spoke to the coach and the players, and I said, you can do this. They went, hey. Well, they did it.
Joe Biden?
Joe Biden, do you agree or disagree, Laura?
I agree.
You're right. That was Joe Biden.
We're talking
Good
about
guess.
artificial intelligence.
Yeah. Here's the real quote.
That's a big game, man. When I spoke to the coach and the players, I said, you can do this. They went, they did it.
It was that moment that the Team USA said, you know what, I think we can do this.
Yeah, they were not sure.
They were unsure at that point. Did not have the confidence in themselves. And they said, Joe Biden believes in us.
That is what Joe Biden is implying.
I
in
know.
that clip.
He's like, that was my win.
But Uncle Joe says.
Let's do this for the president.
All right, we got potential tic-tac-toe going down the center vertical column here. Let's take a quick break.
Okay, let's stop there.
Let's pause here. Yeah, I know everybody's like, but who's going to win? You're listening to X's and O's here on the Annie Frey Show with our friend Laura Michel from Laura Michel Insurance. You can learn about how she can help you with your personal insurance needs, your commercial insurance needs. Reach out to Laura Michel Insurance at lauramichelinsurance.com and make a connection. See how she can help you. Give her a chance to earn your business. I think you'll be very glad you did. She's in St. Charles, over 25 years of experience in the business, and just waiting for you to reach out and contact her. More tic-tac-toe, X's and O's with Laura Michel Insurance when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Kenny May with special guests Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann.
And then I just realized that it was Keith, myself, Mike McQuaid, Ed Schimmel, and that was it against management there because, in their words, we don't want another Chris Berman.
That's the last thing you'd want. Somebody completely successful who's recognized everywhere and put your network on the map. And the, I don't know, $75 million a year to make you in profit. Well, you don't want that.
Download and subscribe to Hey Maine, available on the Odyssey app and everywhere you get your podcasts.
Stewart's American Mortgage, 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. When you reach out to Stewie to get that mortgage secured, if you're looking to get a new home and you need to secure a mortgage, you want to do it in the smartest, most economical way possible. That's with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. He has the bagel loan, and what that's going to let you do is secure that mortgage without all of the closing costs, title fees, everything that goes along with getting that mortgage. You don't pay those fees with Stewie. He doesn't hide the fees away. He doesn't tuck them into the refinance or to the mortgage purchase. They don't exist. It's the way he set up his business to do business the old-fashioned way, where when you go to Stewart's American Mortgage, you work with Stewie. 314-324-4440. Right now is a great time to secure a mortgage or even a mortgage refinance, even if you've done so here recently, because rates have come down yet again. Reach out to Stewie to find out how he can help you make smart decisions with your money today. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with Truehold. Truehold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want, and Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since Truehold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit Truehold.com and discover how much Truehold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
Brian Kilmeade here. I'm coming back to St. Louis December 9th at the Missouri Athletic Club for a Brian Kilmeade live event with my friends at 97.1 FM Talk. Enjoy a delicious filet dinner, cocktails, and we'll talk about my book, The President Freedom Fighter, and all the news that consumes the headlines. Plus, everyone who attends will receive an autographed copy of my book, now out on paperback. For tickets, go to 971talk.com/events.
Brian Kilmeade Live is presented by Straight Realty.
I'm looking forward to seeing you December 9th.
For tickets, 971talk.com/events.
This holiday season, Diamonds Direct gives you the gift of 0% interest financing for 3 years on any purchase. With high prices and high interest rates everywhere else, Diamonds Direct is here with the incredible shopping experience you need. Our guaranteed best value prices will save you money. And with 0% interest, you can spread your payments over 3 years with no finance charge, period. And for this holiday season, we're showcasing an expanded selection of affordable and timeless holiday gifts. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, colored gemstones, and if you're upgrading her diamond or getting engaged over the holidays, we have one of the largest diamond selections in America. All sizes and shapes, all cut for maximum brilliance, and all offered at our amazing direct importer, no middleman prices. Check out our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Buy now or come into the showroom. Let one of our experts guide you in finding the holiday gift that's at the top of their list. And enjoy 3 years zero interest financing on any holiday purchase. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
97.1 FM Talk and Straight Realty would like to introduce you to Brian Kilmeade in person. December 9th. For details and to purchase your tickets now, visit 971talk.com/events. This is the Annie Frey Show. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Let's go! She walks barely down the street with the brim pulled way down low. Ain't no sound but the sound of speed. Machine guns ready to go. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Out of the doorway, the bullets rip. To the sound of the beat, yeah.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Friday. Hope you are getting ready for a nice, relaxing weekend. We're 23 days from Christmas. It just like excessively ramps up in intensity from here.
Are we over the hill on the roller coaster?
No.
And we're just about to drop down on the other side for Christmas?
In my family, well, I don't know. In my family, the hill is like Christmas evening. Like after you've done the Christmas Eve stuff and the Christmas morning stuff with our family and everything, then you look at your significant other and go, oh, we made it. It's exhausting.
I was talking about like on a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You like chick.
No, we're still in the chick stage. Okay. Laura, you've got a little one. Do you spend like all year preparing for Christmas, or is it like
she's little enough that I don't have to?
You just kind of like Amazon this, that, and the other thing?
100%.
Yeah, we have boxes showing up every day, and it's completely not economical because it'll be like one thing in a box.
Oh.
But I'm always checking. I need to check, like, send it to me when you can send them all at once. I forget to do that.
I do too.
Lots of boxes. All right, let's get back to X's and O's. We've got Laura Michel Insurance in studio with us, LauraMichelInsurance.com. If you have personal or commercial insurance needs, there's nobody better in the business than Laura Michel. And you can go to LauraMichelInsurance.com and meet with her in St. Charles. She will sit down and assess your situation and tell you how she can help you, LauraMichelInsurance.com. Her friend Lori is in here with her, competing against her in X's and O's. Ryan, take it away.
Laura and Lori, the game right now is completely even, 2 X's, 2 O's, although there is a potential for a tic-tac-toe here. I imagine that, Lori, it is your turn that you would want to block, but you can go wherever you'd like here.
I will go for the block. I'm going to pick square number 8.
Okay.
Bottom, middle.
Square number 8, who's answering this question?
Miss Annie.
Let's do this.
Annie, you have...
Yay.
You have stumbled into sound. Real sound from this week. Actually, this one was before Thanksgiving, but it was just too good. I had to use it.
Is this Joe Biden too?
I cannot say, and I cannot tell a lie. I will not say. So this is real sound, been run through AI. Tell me who said this.
And this vampire looking real good in this black suit. Whoa, that sounds like Senator Warnock, doesn't it? Looking all good in this black suit. Floated from the ceiling. He floated from the ceiling looking good and cool.
What?
Uh-huh. That's a real quote. Once again.
This vampire looking real good in this black suit. Whoa, that sounds like Senator Warnock, doesn't it? Looking all good in this black suit. Floated from the ceiling. He floated from the...
He floated from the ceiling looking good and cool. I don't know why I cut off the second time. But there you go. That's a real quote from last week. Who said that?
I don't know. It sounds like something dumb Trump would say. I don't, Donald Trump. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Donald Trump. Okay. Lori, it's kind of for the block or the win for Laura. So do you agree or disagree?
I don't know. Maybe.
It does sound like I'm gonna agree with Annie.
With my guess.
Yes, with Annie's guess.
Okay. Here is who said that.
This vampire looking real good in this.
Is that Herschel Walker?
That is Herschel Walker.
I was thinking that. I literally was like, "Oh, that's Herschel Walker," but it sounded so much.
Looking good.
What is he talking about?
Yeah, he's talking about some movie he was watching with a vampire in it, and then he kind of weaves Senator Warnock into that movie.
Yes, because I was like, that's who he was running. I'm like,
oh my
got
gosh.
it. Okay,
I do not understand the context of that. Or why Donald Trump would be saying it, but the delivery sounded Trumpian.
Yep. All right. Well, there is a tic-tac-toe, which
Sorry,
means we're playing
Lori.
for
That's
total
okay.
squares now.
Congratulations, Laura.
Thank you.
Laura,
you're welcome.
it's your turn now. Which square would you like to double down on?
Number 3.
Number 3.
Top right. Top right.
Okay. Who is answering that?
Brad.
Okay.
Brad, you have stumbled into sound as well. Same premise, real quote, run through AI. Here it is.
One of the core values of our storytelling is inclusion and acceptance and tolerance. And we can't lose that.
You should know this one. I didn't know going into the show that we would talk about it, but there it is.
Yep. That is Bob Iger.
Okay. That is Bob Iger. Laura, is that Bob Iger?
I believe that it is. I agree.
Okay, here's who it is.
One of the core values of our storytelling
That's correct.
is inclusion and acceptance and tolerance. And we can't lose that.
I just love the quote because he says one of the core values, and then he says inclusion and acceptance and tolerance.
It's one, Ryan.
It's one, yeah.
It all goes in the
3 for
same
1 price.
package.
All right, so there we go. Another circle gets the square there for Laura. And she's got it. Lori, it is your turn.
I'll do number 7.
Okay, number 7.
Bottom left for the block.
Who is your celebrity that is going to answer that question?
Hannah. All right, last one.
Hannah. Okay, this is it for Hannah. 1 week ago was Black Friday. The beginning of this week was Cyber Monday. On Tuesday, an estimated $3 billion was sent to charities across the country by benevolent Americans. What is Tuesday commonly known as?
Giving Tuesday.
And
Giving
that's correct.
Tuesday is correct. That was the easiest one of the week.
Yep.
All right, there you go.
We did a whole show about it.
Oh, did you? That's what I get for missing the show.
Donate to Vitae Foundation.
All right.
.org.
Laura,
Yeah.
back to you.
Number 4.
Number 4. A lot on the line here because if you get this, then you're going to block her from getting total number of squares. But if you don't, she could still catch you. Number 4, who's answering this for you?
How about Annie?
All right.
Annie?
I feel confident for no particular reason at all.
On Wednesday,
Yeah.
House Democrats made it official. Nancy Pelosi is no longer Supreme Leader. Who
Supreme Leader.
who is soon to be the Democrats' House Minority Leader when a new Congress is sworn in?
Hakeem Jeffries.
You seem pretty confident.
I do. I told you I was confident before I knew the question.
I agree.
Yeah, you both are right.
Yeah,
Good job. All right. That means one question left. It is number 6. And Laura, I guess you're going to choose number 6. Oh, wait.
Lori.
Sorry, Lori. You're going to choose number 6. The question is, who are you choosing to answer that, which I think is already predetermined as well. Is it Brad?
Is it Brad?
It's just me, yep.
All right, Brad, let's go.
Brad,
All right.
Japan has begun selling this popular Disney stuffed animal holding a white piece of paper to signify support for Chinese protesters. Which Disney character is this, which is often used as a surrogate for China's Xi Jinping?
This has to be Winnie the Pooh.
It's a good guess. Is it Winnie the Pooh?
I'm going to say yes.
Winnie the Pooh is correct.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
How did they get away with that?
Because it's Japan.
Yeah, it's
No,
Japan
but
doing
it's
it.
Disney. You think Disney?
Yeah,
I think they're
inclusive now, and they're
I don't understand how
their values.
what the country would be.
I don't know if they're just doing it like Disney has nothing to do with it or what.
I'd like to see the story on that. I had not heard that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known Winnie the Pooh. All right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 O's and 4 X's. That's pretty
close
easy.
game.
That's a close game.
And one
Congratulations.
tic-tac-toe with Laura down the center. Before we let you go, Laura Michel Insurance is in the studio with us here. LauraMichelInsurance.com. Laura, what is the number one thing that you want people to know about shopping for insurance and what people, I would assume there are a lot of people who probably have insurance because their parents use the insurance, their grandparents use that insurance. It's just something you put on autopilot. What do people get when they reach out to you and have a conversation about how you can help? What kind of things can you help them with when it comes to assessing what they currently have versus what you can do for them?
Really, I just like to sit down with people, get to know them, find out their needs, find out their objectives, and just try to personalize it to them.
Yeah. Well, I encourage everyone to give Laura Michel a call, reach out to her on her website. You can go to LauraMichelInsurance.com and connect to her through that link as well. And do what my family did. Reach out to her and see what she can do for you. LauraMichelInsurance.com. Laura and Lori, thank you for being in here today. It was fun. You guys are great.
Fun.
We appreciate you. Let's take a quick break. We'll have more Annie Frey Show when we return, including the results of the YouTube live chat poll. Go vote right now on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. In a crisis, which show member do you believe you would most closely emulate under duress? Hannah, Brad, Ryan, or Annie? Leave us a comment as to why you picked the person you did. And Hannah will feature a few of those when we return along with the poll results. More Annie Frey Show after this. Don't go away.
No sound but the sound of speed. Machine guns ready to go. Are you ready? Hey, are you ready for this? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat? Out of the doorway, the bullets rip. To the sound of the beat, yeah. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust, yeah. Hey, I'm gonna get you too. Another one bites the dust.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
How do you think I'm gonna get along without you when you're gone?
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I'm satisfied. I'll like it, stand the heat. Out of the doorway, the bullets rain on it. To the sound of the beat, look out. Another one bites the dust.
Family is what makes your house a home, and a home theater from the Sound Room is a great way to do that. Get a 10-foot home theater today for $86.99. You heard it right, $86.99. It's a 120-inch screen. It also includes a 4K Epson projector, an Onkyo surround sound receiver, Paradigm speakers, and a subwoofer. Popcorn and installation are extra. The Sound Room in Chesterfield is the St. Louis leader in home technology. TheSoundRoom.com. Right next to Amini's in the Chesterfield Valley. The Sound Room.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
LauraMichaelInsurance.com is the website you can visit. MICHEL, LauraMichaelInsurance.com. She is there to help small business owners just like you control your insurance costs. Anytime you are looking at the different expenditures, the different line items in your business, you want to make sure that you're not overspending unnecessarily in a place like insurance. You need to have somebody who's there to be your advocate. That's Laura Michel. She's in St. Charles. She has 25 plus years in the business. She knows exactly how to make sure you have every bit of coverage, no gaps in where you are being covered, but also that you're not spending money on insurance coverage that you don't need. Laura can meet with you personally. She's going to take the time to learn about you, to learn about what your needs are, to make sure that she can provide you with the best coverage situation possible. She also does auto, home, and life insurance for your personal insurance needs. Reach out to Laura Michel Insurance today and get the conversation started. You can find her, connect with her right now by going to LauraMichelinsurance.com. That's LauraMichelinsurance.com.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling and Insulation Studio. Save up to $900 in utility rebates and see if you qualify for 0% financing on a new high-efficiency HVAC system. For details and to get into your comfort zone, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
You have the next speaker of the Missouri House on the line right now. Dean Plocker is with us.
Why are Missouri taxpayers paying more for our personal property tax? It should be on a depreciation scale where they reduce themselves over time.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
We get a little restless from search and get a little worn down in between. Like a bull chasing the matadors, a man left with his own schemes. Everybody needs someone beside him, shining like a lighthouse from the sea.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We appreciate you being with us on a Friday afternoon. We just got done with X's and O's. Laura Michel Insurance in the studio with us. Laura and her friend Laurie competed. If you missed it, you can go back on the Odyssey app and rewind to the start of the 2 o'clock hour, or you can watch the replay, of course, on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We've got the YouTube live chat poll up right now, which is this. In a crisis, which show member do you believe you would most closely emulate under duress? Hannah, Brad, Ryan, or Annie? You have about 10, 15 minutes or so to go get your vote in there before Hannah gives us the results. But first, she's going to give us some good news.
The Diamond in the Rough, brought to you by The Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net.
All right, I don't know if you guys have heard about this or not, but I definitely think this is, it fits Diamond in the Rough for sure. Former blues player Patrick Maroon turns a broadcaster's insult into a charitable opportunity. Have you heard about this?
No.
I have.
So on Wednesday night, the Tampa Bay Lightning was playing the Boston Bruins, and their play-by-play announcer, Jack Edwards, was making some harsh comments towards him. Here it says, this is what Jack Edwards said. He is listed at 238 pounds. That was day one of training camp. I've got a feeling he's had a few more pizzas between then and now. And then he said, fasting, inadvertent fasting for Pat Maroon is like 4 hours without a meal. But hey there, there's 3 Stanley Cups in a row. Who can't argue with his formula? So the play-by-play announcer for the Bruins was really just dogging on Pat Maroon for no reason.
Is it smart to be like, hey, hockey player, I'm going to insult your weight? I mean, that seems like a losing proposition.
Right. Like hockey players in general, but specifically Pat Maroon.
Yeah, I think he can handle himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Pat Maroon, in his ways, he announced on Twitter that he had made a $2,000 donation in Edwards' name to the Tampa Bay Thrives, a nonprofit agency assisting those dealing with mental health issues in support of those struggling with mental health, bullying, and body image. So Pat Maroon posted that on Twitter, and he invited Tampa Bay fans to help donate, and of course they did. So did the Lightning captain Steven Stamkos. And he tweeted and said, well done, Patty. He's donating now. So Pat Maroon took the opportunity to make that criticism profitable for charity. So good for him.
Do we know if the broadcaster has responded?
I would like to know.
I haven't seen any response from
I did not see that, but
let me ask this question. It's hockey. It's sports. There's smack talk that takes place on any given day. Like, Pat Maroon is not a hockey player who's like crying in the locker room because his feelings were hurt. But that doesn't mean that he didn't appreciate that, and that kind of conversation by, like, we talk on this show all the time about like being tough and sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never hurt me. We have inverted that. Like, we're okay with violence because it's purposeful, but don't you dare say the wrong word. To me, what that broadcaster said about Pat Maroon, if that would have been said about a woman, and women in the media get this type of feedback all the time, especially like local TV news. You see those stories all the time where people write in and comment on local TV female personalities and say, like, why are you wearing this outfit? You need to do this, that, and the other thing. And I think oftentimes that is highlighted as something that only happens to women. This time it happened to a man, a very manly man. Pat Maroon, a National Hockey League athlete. And he took the initiative and did something really positive with it. Do you think it hurt Pat Maroon's feelings that he said that was said about him? And do you think that the broadcaster should respond to Pat Maroon acknowledging that was kind of not cool?
I can't imagine that hurting Pat Maroon's feelings. Just knowing what I know about hockey and like you were talking about trash talking, the chirps in hockey are next level.
But the chirps come from the people on the ice.
From the people on the ice, yeah.
Where you can
Not
physically, literally,
announced.
physically take it out on somebody.
Yeah, but see, the thing is they don't usually have to do that because the chirp goes right back the other way. I think he saw it as an opportunity to take the high road, and he did, you know. Maybe he saw it as out of bounds, but I wouldn't say his feelings were hurt.
Should the broadcaster respond? I hope that if he does it of his own volition and not because of pressure, not because of management telling him he needs to or whatever.
He could donate some money and be
whatever.
like, hey, Pat, I see what you did there. I'm going to throw some money that way.
Fine.
Touche.
Fine. Yeah. I mean, it seems like something that if Pat Maroon, it seems like Pat Maroon's actually having kind of fun with it. So if the broadcaster wanted to have fun with it too, fine. I think that's fine.
I think there's potential that his feelings were hurt, but I think he handled it in a great way. Does the broadcaster need to apologize? I think yes, but it doesn't need to be this big, huge public, during the next game when they played Tampa Bay and the Bruins and Tampa Bay face off. I don't think there needs to be like this big public apology and more hoopla created around it, but I do think that an apology could be made personally or through a donation or something like that.
If anybody can call scoreboard, Pat Maroon can call scoreboard.
No kidding.
I don't think that we have got a lot of people commenting that hockey players don't have feelings. I actually think it's the antithesis of that. They have a lot of feelings, and they get to act on their feelings way more than most.
There are so many comments saying that.
Most professionals get to act on them. I don't think that it would be right to say that Pat Maroon wasn't affected by it, and that hearing something like that and conversation like that wouldn't affect him. But most of the time what competitors like him do is they use that to fuel themselves. So I think what civilians like ourselves would how we would talk about our feelings being hurt. I think there's a hockey version of that. And, it's almost like being, I can't imagine that this translates, but maybe it does. But like in a baseball game, if something happens between two teams, they take care of it the next time they face each other. Like that those grudges can be taken out on. Does Pat Maroon exact his revenge on the Bruins players because the Bruins broadcaster had something to say? I don't know, but good on him for making the lemonade out of those lemons and moving on. And I really wonder, does Pat Maroon, does he want to see this guy apologize? He probably just likes to see, he's dunking on him, essentially.
Yeah. I think he's going to get more out of seeing donations to this charity than he will an apology from Jack Edwards.
I mean, he bodied him without having to actually make physical contact. This was like a nice open ice hit on this announcer because he wouldn't get the opportunity to check him in a game.
Dan says, ever see a hockey player cry? Well, sadness isn't the only emotion. I've seen hockey players get really angry.
I watched a bunch of hockey players cry when the Blues won the Stanley Cup. Yeah. There was a lot of tears in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan.
I don't even want to see him apologize. I want to see this just go away.
Do you care if he continues to make comments like this about people?
I don't think that that's even an option. I think based on the publicity that this got, I don't think that he could do that. So I don't think that's even on the table.
Is that the lesson learned?
Probably. And that's it. That's it. Like if this is something that is really offensive, which I don't think Pat Maroon really cares about, I think it's more people getting up in arms about it, then so be it. He goes, okay, I'm not going to make fun of the dude eating pizza anymore. Like, whatever. Like, this is one of those things that just, to me, is something that people are trying to make a bigger deal out of than it is.
Mike says on YouTube, tears of joy.
Not from the Bruins.
Well, tears of joy, that even if it is tears of joy, that's still an emotion. Like, they have all the other emotions. To think that they couldn't be... I think that you can have feelings, but not be overly sensitive.
We're talking about passion. These guys, in the case of the Stanley Cup, worked their whole life to attain that goal, and to get that close and fall short, or to actually achieve that goal, that's going to be a rush of emotion.
Ryan on our Annie Frey Show Facebook page says, I've seen Pat Maroon cry when he scored in front of his son while playing for Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Basically, I think that NHL players are super emotional.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even joking.
Summary.
It's just like, you just think about how everybody in any instance look at I wish I found this. I was talking to Brad about this just the other day because he sends me so many videos, so I just assumed that it was from you, but it wasn't. But there was a comparison between hockey players and soccer players. There's a hockey player, he's standing at his bench behind the wall, and a puck comes out of nowhere and hits him in the jaw, and his head just turns like 2 inches to the left, and then he just reassesses his focus. He got hit by a puck in the face, and then they show a soccer player, and a ball is kicked at the soccer player, and the soccer player dodges to keep the ball from hitting him in his gut, and then he falls down to the ground, and he's writhing on the ground, and then they show the replay. He didn't even get hit by the ball. It's like the hockey player got hit in the face with the puck, and he's just like, yeah. They're just a different
They're stretching
breed.
time at the end with some of those fake injuries, but you know what? If now though that you've said that hockey players are emotional, now if they're offended by that, they could dunk on you by donating $2,000 to the emotional wellness
do it
center.
to Vitae Foundation.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. You see what I'm getting at here?
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, it's for the people.
They call that Giving Tuesday.
Someone said on the live chat, that's called, they said once the Tuesday called, they said Taco Tuesday.
That made me laugh.
It doesn't mean they can't be both. Want to get to the YouTube live chat poll?
Yes, the YouTube live chat poll today is asking, if in crisis, which show member do you believe you would most closely emulate under duress? Hannah, Brad, Ryan, or Annie?
Have any of you looked at the results yet?
No.
Yes.
You have? Okay. Hannah, sit this one out. Who do you think will have, because this isn't really a poll that you win, because everybody's different, so everybody reacts differently. And to recap, before, we were talking a little bit about how we react in a situation, in a crisis or an emergency. Brad, you said that you don't need to be the person in charge, but you were looking for, what can I do in this moment?
I will fill the role that needs to be filled.
Okay. Ryan?
Just cool, probably a little bit underwhelmed by whatever the emotion.
Does that level itself out later? Do you after the fact, if you were like super oddly chill during a crisis, later do you go, holy crap, that was?
If it was a big enough crisis, yes, because I react the same way regardless. It's always kind of like, well, okay, let's just deal with this.
But the aftermath, when you're not in the emergency or in the crisis, and you have the hindsight of knowing what was going on at that time. Have you ever been in a serious?
Well, I've been in car accidents and stuff, and looking back on that, I was in a fatal one once. Obviously, not me, but there was a person who died in the accident, and I was in high school, maybe college, late high school. And he was on the street laying there, and we had been in the accident. I wasn't driving, and everybody was freaking out, and I kind of just walked over to the guy and to see if he was alive, which he was at the moment. So it's weird because it almost feels like if it's not affecting me personally, I probably would be affected differently if I was injured, which I was not. But in a crisis moment when I'm not injured, I'm just sort of dealing with the situation.
That really fits your like entire life process of what is everybody doing? I'm going to do the opposite. I mean,
kind of.
That's really how you are.
Yeah.
Just in general. But after that, did you go, oh my gosh, this guy died?
I mean, I guess so. There's a moment of realization in any crisis that you go, well, that was a bigger deal than it seemed in the moment when you assess what actually happened. So kind of, yeah.
Hannah, when we experienced the potential emergency that turned into a non-emergency earlier this week, you said that you thought you would be a leader, but you turned into a question asker looking for a leader.
Yep, that's a perfect summary.
And then I don't know if I could describe myself as somebody who is kind of like the
leader.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
I will get answers and start working and trying to get everybody in a, like Brad, you're saying you're more of a doer. I probably am more of a leader in that instance where it's like I will try to coalesce people together, especially if they are panicking, to be like, we're going to calm down right now and we're going to get this done. It's very maternal, I think. It's part of what I would consider part of my maternal instincts to say, like, how do we get from point A to point B? We need to get there, and we need to all get there now, so this is how it's going to go. And usually I've noticed in those instances, there aren't as many people who are like that. There are lots of people who are looking for someone to do that, and they'll just follow somebody who wants to step up and that's kind of
they need instruction. It's the craziest thing. I forget what I was taking some sort of training, and they were telling you, like, don't yell, somebody call 911. You point to somebody and you tell them, you call 911.
So we have the YouTube live chat poll up today, and Hannah, you want to read the poll for us, and then you can give us some of the highlights and tell us how it worked out.
The poll today is asking, if in crisis, which show member do you believe you would most closely emulate under duress? Hannah, Brad, Ryan, or Annie? We had lots of people comment on this. Larry said, that's easy. Brad.
All right, Larry.
Vicky said, I chose Hannah. She asked questions I would have before leaving. Larry kind of gave a little summary. He says, on the poll, Hannah would ask questions. Ryan would analyze the situation. Annie is scared of spiders, and Brad would just act. I voted Brad.
I like that one.
It's like the only thing I'm scared of. So as long as we're not under spider attack, I am not your girl.
J Main from YouTube said, Brad for sure. His extra boots in the car says it all. Dan M from YouTube said, no question, Wiggy. I can just hear him now. Well, that's that.
You can hear me now. I don't know really what I'm saying. I'm just kind of chilled.
Chris F from YouTube said, I said Ryan since I would be joking the whole time.
I will tell you this, that when I'm scared, that's the funniest I am.
Oh my gosh. I agree. Same for me.
Yeah.
Katie Matthews from YouTube said, I think I would respond the most like Hannah did on Wednesday, seeking guidance from others when I'm in crisis or under duress. Robert said, Annie for sure. She has the mama-like toughness. That is very true.
That sounded almost judgmental.
No, it wasn't.
That is
Annie,
very true.
I gave you so much love on Wednesday.
Ryan,
gave you that look.
She was standing right next to the alarm's going off. She's standing right next to the phone, and she looks at me like this. She goes, Annie? I'm like, It's fine. Everything is fine. And then I started yelling at people.
It was great. It was
Go out
great.
the window.
All right. Here are the results. So once again, the question is asking if in crisis, which show member do you believe you would most closely emulate under duress? Hannah, Brad, Ryan, or Annie? I've looked at the results all day and they've stayed pretty stagnant. With 51% of the poll, people said Brad. 51%. You stomped that poll.
Yeah, good job,
Then
Brad.
Annie with 20%, Ryan with 17%, myself with 11%. So a lot of people picked Brad. So congratulations, Brad.
I find it interesting to like what Hannah said. You thought you'd be a leader and then you weren't. I think a lot of people don't. If you haven't been in a crisis, you might be surprised at how you handle it. Well, thank you for being with us today. Check out the Annie Frey Show podcast and don't go anywhere. The Mark Reardon Show up next.
Think I'm pretty with these
I'm Howard
old
Mackler of
boots on.
GetRefunds.com. You might have heard me talk about the payroll tax refund for businesses who kept employees